Today is Tim's birthday. We are celebrating by dating a disabled girl.
My dream come true.
Alright, right, it's always the one at the very bottom.
I was
Knock,
half
knock.
expecting one of those save screens to have something we encountered last time.
All right, I think it's probably Kenji, right?
Yeah, all I remember is, like, we were gonna go until it did a scene transition, and this is literally after the scene. Sorry, I need to be careful how I describe this because I think we're still in the
The
first.
shed.
Yeah, the shed. Because we're still in the first minute of the YouTube upload. This is right after the shed. And
The shedding.
I thought it was going to do a scene transition, but it didn't. But either way, it's right after that. We went and took a nap, I think.
That or we went to sleep. I forget.
We took a nap or went to sleep.
You know
Well,
what
it's
I mean.
sti- it's
I
sti-
forget what time of day it was.
It was still decently early in the day. We still have classes, so. Because it happened during, or rather in place of, our morning run with Emmy. Because she's in a wheelchair now.
She was like, we're getting exercise one way or another.
Alright. Also, I did end up decide to play it safe, and I went and censored the boobies in the previous part. And I also set up something for quick censoring during the stream if it happens again, where I could just do this. And it covers the boobs.
I don't know what you did, but okay.
It literally just flashes the Katawa Shoujo. Just flashes the logo on screen in a way that obscures the breasts.
Fair enough. I thought you were going to put up that one comic Tim put. It's a nice horizontal comic.
Nah, I did show that on stream last time, but alright. Knock knock. Who's there? Knock knock. That's not how these jokes work!
Oh,
Alrighty,
he didn't say it out loud, so how could they answer?
Oh, I forgot how much this game just predicts me, or other way around. That's not how the joke goes at all. Knock knock. I already said who's there. More importantly, what time is it? Yeah, he's not speaking out loud. Even more importantly, what day?
What is this, the fucking start of Gen 2?
Hello there! I'm the Pokemon Professor Kenji!
What time is it? How many minutes? Oh, no wonder it's so dark out.
I remember putting it as something like, no matter what time you put it as, he's like, oh, I'm late! 5 a.m., I'm late! Dude, what the fuck were you supposed to be there for?
Also, I'm looking forward to this being rain at your door with no explanation as to what she was knocking with.
She has a bruise on her forehead. I am suddenly catapulted into wakefulness by both the fact that the knocking still hasn't stopped and the fact that it's noon. On a school day.
Ooh.
Now fully awake, I can remember why I was napping. Better not give that excuse to Muto. Kenji, why are you late? Anal. I don't know why, but I accept this answer.
No, the correct answer is cardio.
Why is he so tired? They stopped after like 20 seconds.
Well, I don't think it was
I
necessarily.
forget. Isn't it? Did he run first and then they did that?
I think so. I think he did his stretching at the very least. I don't think it was necessarily that they were tired from it. I think it's that they did it and they were like, "This is painful. I don't like it."
He certainly gave me some stretching.
Why was it painful for him? Did he like go too fast and bend it?
From what I saw whenever I reviewed the scene, she fell forward at a certain point while he was while they were still involved. That pulled on some things.
I still love that picture of her face when it happens. Like, you would not expect the face of somebody during a sex scene to be like that. You would expect, like, something, like, mid-orgasm, but instead it's the face of, stop, bad idea, bad idea, bad idea, abort, abort.
It's the face of, this was a mistake.
Sorry I wasn't in class. I was experimenting sexually with my girlfriend, and it tired me out. Yeah, that'll go over well. You never know! I wonder how long this knocking is going to continue. Guess I ought to answer the door. I'm strangely unsurprised to see Kenji on the other side. We got no Kenji last time, so I'm glad we're starting off with some.
Yeah, especially because that means I can eat.
Though it appears that Kenji is surprised to see me. What the hell are you doing here, man?
His eyes are suddenly working.
Well, I was sleeping. Kenji nods in understanding. Knocked out, I see. I told you to be careful around that Ibarazaki chick, man. This is the sort of thing that happens when you aren't cautious. He makes an attempt to look at the back of my head. Did she hit you with something? Or was it a drug? Stop trying to touch me. Kenji produces a flashlight and just shines it in my eyes. You got a concussion? I wasn't knocked out. I had anal. Maybe you just don't remember. This conversation isn't going anywhere. No, I just had a tiring morning and fell asleep. Whatever, man. If you want to be in denial about this, I guess I can't stop you. You gotta watch out for that girl, man. She's not safe. What?
Not safe for work.
She's not safe to be around. She's one of their most sinister agents. If you're not careful, there's no telling what could happen. She's brought down stronger men than you know. What the hell are you talking about? She's not an agent of anything, and she didn't knock me out, okay? I didn't even knock her up. I also highly doubt that she's brought down anyone at all. She nearly killed you in the hallway, okay? Kenji looks almost offended. I have no idea why. You don't believe me? That's cold, man. Real cold. I'm just trying to look out for you. That's what friends do, you know? We're friends? I had no idea. Then again, I wonder if Kenji knows what being a friend even entails. I feel something like pity for him, standing there before me. Maybe he does think he's looking out for me. I know. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for the warning. I don't know why I thought that said thanks for the screwing. I hold out my hand as a sign of peace. Kenji shakes it gingerly, like my hand could possibly be on fire. There's an awkward silence for a few seconds before Kenji remembers that he's still shaking my hand. Anyway, I need a favor. What kind of favor? I'm out of money. No, you aren't. You've got money kept in your desk drawer under a black notebook for emergencies. Kenji?
Hey, if that's not just a shot in the dark, I have questions.
Did you ransack my room? It's not important.
How the...
I don't need money anyway. He adopts a very serious tone. Oh boy, let's see if I can do this. I'm about to undertake a major op. It'll blow the whole conspiracy wide open if I'm right. But it's dangerous, so I need you to do something for me in case I don't come back. Delete your browser history?
Internet history about it.
Sure, man. Anything. What the hell is he planning on doing? Should I be telling someone about this? If I go missing, wait 3 days, and then mail my journal off to the newspapers. It's hidden in my room under a false bottom in one of my desk drawers, next to the death note. How do I get into your room? I don't have a key. Kenji looks at me like I'm crazy. So pick the lock. You know how to do that, right? It's an important skill to learn at a young age.
You know, this does explain how he got into our room, because I did have that question.
Yeah, of course I know how. I'll be sure to do that for you, if you go missing. I don't think I want to read Kenji's journal. Either way, Kenji seems pretty happy that I've agreed to do this thing for him. Great, man, great. I'll see you around. I got stuff to do. And he's gone, dashing down the hallway. For the conspiracy! Or against the conspiracy! Made it seem so final. I hope I don't have to carry out his final wishes. If that's the last time we see Kenji this route, I choose to believe that he did die. Shaking my head, I close my door and walk back to my bed. Guess I should go to class, if only to catch the last half of the day. But I've come this far without going to class today. And I did want to read more of that Hawking book Muto lent me. I'm sure he'll understand.
Knock.
As soon as you say that, knock knock. This time the noise jerks my attention away from my book. An experience not unlike being woken up. Also, yeah, that is a major feeling. Like, well, I already missed like a good portion of the day. Why bother going for the rest of it? Who's there?
Yeah.
Oh.
God damn it, Eri. I wanted to finish my sandwich.
We didn't have enough Kenji time.
Me! Aren't you glad?
The voice is muffled through the door, but unmistakably Emmy's.
How did she know you were here?
Do we have... it's my dorm room, Rhino!
Yeah, but normally you wouldn't be here at this time of day.
Maybe she, like, heard from Hanako that you weren't there or something?
Shrug.
I hop up and open the door, smiling broadly. Hey, nice to see you again. Emmy grins back, staring up at me from her wheelchair.
Yeah, you would have seen me earlier, but the damn elevator wasn't working. Had to wait for them to fix it. You'd think they could keep it in better order, but no.
I chuckle a bit at her vexed expression and invite her in. Her vexed expression. She wheels in easily, and with my help, she hops onto my bed.
God, your room is plain. There, much more comfortable than that stupid chair.
I choose to believe that immediately off screen is like a bunch of posters and stuff. He just doesn't keep them over his bed. A sigh of contentment hangs in the air, and for a minute we both just stare at one another. So, round two? It's at that point that I notice the circles under Emmy's eyes. They're not that dark, but they definitely weren't there before. Before I can ask about them, Emmy fixes me with a mischievous stare. Mischievous.
So, I couldn't help but notice you weren't at lunch today.
Ah, that would also explain it.
In fact, I don't think I saw you at all. What happened?
Fell asleep. I actually didn't wake up until lunch, and only then because Kenji woke me up.
What had you so tired?
Strenuous workout this morning. Slightly uncomfortable, too. Emmy coughs, a half-laughing, half-embarrassed noise.
Remind me not to do that again.
No problem. Wasn't exactly great for me either, to be honest. We'll just avoid that from now on. Are you, still sore? Emmy stares at me in disbelief. What? It's a legitimate question!
Of all the questions I never thought I'd be asked, that's one of them.
Well, I didn't ever expect to have to ask it, so we're even. Emmy laughs at this.
Guess so, huh? Well, since you asked, yes, I'm still a little sore. We're never doing that again.
No arguments from here. A yawn escapes her, and I raise an eyebrow. Tired? Emmy nods sleepily.
Haven't slept well.
Not sleeping well. I can tell that she didn't mean to tell me this either, because she gives a little start, like she's just been caught lying, and hastens to add,
It's not a big deal, though.
What's the trouble? Emmy shrugs and refuses to elaborate. Stressed over exams? Another shrug, but after a pause, Emmy nods hesitantly.
Yeah, I guess. Actually, that's why I stopped by.
She begins to look more and more miserable. Not so you notice, of course, but her eyes are on her lap, she's fidgeting, and her voice is quiet.
We, need to stop hanging out so much.
I haven't even made any choices and you're breaking up with me?! Huh? Why? Emmy takes a deep breath like she's been practicing this.
Because you're too much fun to be around. And I can't concentrate when you're near me. The exam's coming up soon, I just can't have that distraction. Otherwise my grades will be pretty lousy.
You missed 2 words.
I'm scared.
I could help you study. She smiles at me, clearly unhappy with the situation.
I'd love it if you could, but we wouldn't actually study, would we? I mean, even now, I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but I kind of just want to,
This bitch thirsty.
not good. Yeah, see, I said this last time
Like,
when it was like the next morning, and then it happened again. I was like, damn, she got a taste.
and now it's like later this. I mean, does that time really count when we were both like, let's see if this works? Does not work. Does not work.
Considering it's like what, like 5 hours later.
I mean, let's be completely honest. She probably didn't finish, so
Likely.
I don't even know if I did.
Not converse.
Ah. Overwhelmed by my rugged manliness, I understand. That earns me a
Fucking
grin.
nerd.
I do like that they're able to, like, actually, like, joke with each other and whatnot. Emmy shakes her head.
Idiot, you're full of yourself.
So were you earlier. Well, I am pretty irresistible.
Yeah, more or less, I guess. So that's the situation, Hisao. I have too much fun around you, and if I'm going to go into the exams prepared, I need to be alone.
Hey, that's okay. It really seems to have been bothering her. Besides, it's only a couple of weeks, and we'll still see each other in the mornings and at lunch. We can just hang out at school, no problem. And after exams, we'll go on a date to celebrate their being over, okay? Emmy grins, pleased by this proposal.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great.
As if
Yeah.
as if... What do you mean, yeah?
That was like, yeah, like surprise noise.
As if to sing... You're not used to Emmy taking up more than the bottom half of the screen? As if to signal the end of the conversation, she leans in and kisses me. The rest of the night is not spent worrying about exams.
Damn, girl.
Do, bang, bang, bang. We had sex. Be our guest. Be our guest. I'm gonna... okay, I'm hoping that that's a decently good sign, because I thought that was going to lead up to her, like, being like, we need to distance ourselves from each other, and then later on we would just break up, and we would, like, I somehow put us on the bad end already. It's weird how easily Emmy and I can keep from seeing one another after class now. Actually, I'd venture to say that it's vaguely disturbing. As easily as we'd come to...
Max, come on.
Together. We seem to have split apart without much trouble. Well, I guess that's not exactly true. We've both been pretty bummed after that last night together. Oh, we tried anal again, I see. And we get to see each other every morning for our runs, and just our runs, I might add. Lunch, too. I especially enjoy lunchtime with her. We have plenty of time to talk about everything outside of school, whereas the morning runs have become increasingly businesslike. I think it's because Emmy wants to make up for our foolery in the storage shed. But no matter how much we joke at lunch, I can't help feeling a little worried about her. She seems distracted more often, and I've caught her fidgeting nervously more than once. Never figured her to be someone who cared that deeply about exams, but they certainly seem to be taking their toll, even though they haven't even started. This is just the run-up, the deep breath before the plunge. Every time!
Yes.
Tomorrow the real trials begin. Or the real exams, anyway. As for me, I actually don't feel that worried about exams at all. I'm not sure why. I mean, they're pretty important. My scores here will determine my odds of getting into a good university. Hell, if I'm too cavalier now, it could spell doom for my academic career. But going into them, I feel confident that I'll come out the other side okay. Muto thinks I've got the science examination locked up at any rate. Or as he says, the last thing that should give you trouble is my exam, Hisao. It's way beneath your talents. Then again, it is Muto who's telling me this. His praise of me carries the veiled implication that anything less than perfect for me will be a disappointment, which has actually caused me to fret more than I should about the exam. It's for that reason that I find myself in the library after class, poring over the textbook. Pretty simple things to look over. Some formulas of velocity, a few bits about friction. I need water.
It is good to stay hydrated.
I guess Amy's not the only one that's thirsty. A walk in the park compared to my dreaded English exam. Never was good with languages. And remember, in this setting, they're speaking Japanese. As I flip through my notes one more time, my mind begins to wander. Oh, we're back to this. After these exams
Say
are
Ghost Emmy appears.
After these exams are over, things should get easier. Soon we'll be graduated. Then off to college, hopefully. I remember my abortive attempt to find out what Emmy plans to do after high school. She avoided the subject pretty deftly, as I recall. Heck, it seems that just about every time I'm pushed too hard, she dances around the subject. Or distracts me through other means.
I did call that.
Like a few days ago at lunch, when Rin wasn't around. Heh. Oh god!
God damn, where's the Dr. Tim scene when I need to finish this sandwich? I've done it.
I'm startled from my reverie. Is that right? Reverie?
Reverie.
Reverie. By Yuko's triumphant shout. Yeah! Yuko seems mortified at my sudden starting.
Oh my god.
No, just me.
I'm so sorry, I really wasn't, and it's just that...
As she stutters, I move to quickly calm her down before she gets too agitated. Whoa, hey! My words seem ineffective. Yuko
So, out of curiosity, is there a Yuko route?
No, I think we've been over this.
No. She's just, like, one of the adults that you come across with this specific route.
Alright.
Yeah.
There's other adult characters who only show up on other routes.
Yeah, I do know that the only routes are the quote-unquote Kenji route, which is just an early bad ending, and the and the routes for each girl, with I believe each one having a good, neutral, and bad. Yuko continues to work herself into a complete frenzy.
It's a library and I shouldn't be...
Easy there, just calm down.
And I'm really setting a bad example, and now I'll get fired because I can't do anything right.
Yuko! Shouting seems to work, though I draw the ire of several other students studying in the library. You telling me they weren't already distracted? Yuko snaps to attention, like a soldier who's just heard the captain bark an order.
Sorry.
Calm down, it's okay. You just startled me a little. That's only because I was daydreaming instead of studying. So really, you got me back on task. This is a complete lie, but it seems to work. Yuko takes a deep breath and seems to calm down a little, though she keeps shifting around with a nervous energy that seems awfully familiar. So what's got you so excited anyway?
The Yamaku cat burglar.
To her credit, Yuko manages to convey her intense excitement in a whisper.
Is that why she mispronounced the school's name?
The Yammy Yam cat burglar. I think I know who it is. I got an anonymous tip as to their identity.
I'm waiting for her to be like, "It's you!"
So I did some spying, and I think the tipster was right. It is I, the newest Batman villain, the tipster.
Instead of leaving riddles as to where you can find me, I go to restaurants and give the waiters money!
Yeah. What's so evil about that? I tip under 15%.
Batman, your free trial of living has expired.
Or then you take the other route, like, instead of riddles, I leave tips. What do you mean? Goes to crime scene, finds tiny slip of paper that's almost like a fortune cookie. I think you could have done better.
It reminds me of that old, like, Silver Age Flash villain, the Trickster, whose whole thing is just making puns for weapons.
I liked him in Justice League.
Yeah.
Didn't he only show up like once? And it was just
Yeah, in the Flash Museum episode, he was voiced by Mark Hamill.
yeah, I remember that bit where the Flash just shows up as like have you been off your meds again? What? No, you're wearing the costume. Oh, I am. And then as they're leaving, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, once you finish your drink, turn yourself in. Okay. Oh really? And who was this burglar?
You forgot about his plan of exploding dog vomit.
I did forget about that. I only remember that one scene because it's in all the YouTube shorts. Yuko shuts her mouth, shaking her head decisively.
Nope, I can't tell you that.
Why not?
It's between me and the burglar. I can't risk you warning him that I'm on to his game. He could tip his hand early and blow town. Then I'm left with no perp.
Your outfit's purple. When did Yuko start talking like a hard-boiled detective? Yeah, she... I wouldn't have warned them. Why would I care?
If you've got to ask that question, then you don't need to know.
It's Kenji, isn't it? It's fucking Kenji.
I bet her only way to research for this was just to read mysteries in the library.
Probably. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Congratulations, I guess.
Thanks. What for?
The, cat burglar thing? Yuko nods and smiles appreciatively.
So, studying for exams?
Well, that was the plan. Not having much luck, though. That's because I'm talking to you.
Really? Is it because you can't find a book? I'm really sorry. I've been meaning to clean the shelves up for weeks now, but I keep getting distracted. I'm so sorry.
Whoa, wait. It's not that. I've got my book right here. To illustrate the point and hopefully calm Yuko down, I show her the textbook in front of me. My mind just keeps wandering, is all.
Is it because of the noise in here? I've been trying to be more strict about the noise levels, but I can't bring myself to yell at people. I mean, aren't our lives hard enough without me throwing my authority around?
No, it's not the noise level either, I promise. I'm just... hell, I don't know. Worried about Emmy. Worried about us. Worried about what happens after we graduate. Emmy's been kind of weird lately.
What do you mean?
Well, you know how we're dating now? I just don't know that we're actually, you know, a couple. Or at least I don't know that we're beyond friends. Though friends normally don't do the sort of things we do.
I was going to bring that up.
Physically, we're a couple. Coupling, at least. It's like every time I try to find out more about her or about what she wants to do with her life, she dodges the question. Like the other day, I was talking to her at lunch about some schools I've been looking into. And I asked her, have you looked into any schools lately? She shrugs in response, says no, and when I ask why not, she said that she doesn't think that far ahead. I asked why she had that policy, and I suddenly realized what I'm about to start describing and wisely decided to clam up.
She what?
She sells seashells by the seashore. Yeah, she changed the subject.
Open spouse. Be distracted.
Wouldn't talk about it.
Maybe it's an uncomfortable subject for her? Or she doesn't think it needs explaining.
Yeah, but it's not just that. Every time I try to find out what's been bothering her, she changes the subject too. It's like she likes being with me, but not getting close to me. Now that I've said it out loud, I feel worse. Yuko digests this bit of information. Information.
You know, it seems to me that you're more serious about this than she is.
I can almost feel my stomach twist into a knot. She's right. That's exactly what it seems like. But is that really what's going on? I mean...
Sorry, I'm just talking nonsense. You shouldn't take my advice, you barely know me. I'm just a librarian and I'm single, so you can imagine I can't know what I'm talking about.
No, I think you have a point. As much as it hurts to even consider it. Yuko seems to try desperately to find a way to soften the blow somewhat.
And look, I'm probably wrong, but if you want to be sure of how obviously wrong I am, maybe you should just talk to her? Get some time alone and just ask about it? And don't let her change the subject either.
Talk to the nurse, Emmy. Talk to the nurse, Emmy. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Or maybe I should just enjoy what I have. We have fun hanging out, after all. And the runs are nice, and the other activities are nice. Talking to her is nice. Do I really need to get closer to her? What I've got right now is pretty good. But that's silly. I want to get closer to her. I want to be able to help her out with whatever is bothering her. But maybe I should wait until after exams are over. Maybe she'll brighten up once the stress is past. If she does, then I don't need to worry about it anymore. But if she doesn't, well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I thank Yuko for her advice and head back to my room. Zombie! Maybe I'll be able to concentrate more on my studies in there. Do-do-do. Something is wrong with Emmy and we don't know what. Holy shit, please tell us. Zombie! I leave the room after finishing my final exam and breathe a sigh of relief. As I'd hoped, the exams weren't so bad. I managed to breeze through just about everything but the English final. And even that was acceptable.
I don't know why they had me trying to find the word poggers.
I wonder how Emmy did. Even more so, how she's doing. She looked terrible at lunch today. She looked like that painting over there. I mean, she was pretty happy to be out of her wheelchair, but she was so exhausted. Okay, so she's out of her wheelchair at least. Something's been wearing her down, and I'm starting to really doubt that it was just the exams. Should I confront her about this, though? My musing is interrupted by a tap on the shoulder. Hey, Hisao. Got a minute? Sure.
I'm surprised you didn't save just before that.
I can rewind, though. Yeah, I've got some time. Rewind all the way! Woo! Yep. Go back. Anyway. Yeah, I've got some time. More important to me or anything like that. Muto raises an eyebrow as if questioning my statement, then beckons me back into the classroom. I wanted to get some feedback from you if I could. I know that this course wasn't quite up to your level. Don't worry about it. Science club activities more than made up for it. Did they? Well, in fact, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Do you think that was a worthwhile activity? Just for my own reference. Yeah, it was a great way to go further than we did in class. It was definitely worthwhile. Muto seems delighted by my response. That's great! Exactly the sort of thing I was hoping for. You know, Hisao, I'm glad you came here. It's always good to have a student who really gets into the subject you teach. In a way, it makes dealing with the rest of the students more tolerable.
Oof.
Misha. You're a bright kid, too. You took to this stuff like a duck to water, or some other such simile. Thanks. You were a great help, especially with that college stuff. There's one more thing, Hisao. A bit of advice from one scientist to another. What's that? What does a scientist do? Science! Observe the world around him. Science!
Science girlfriends.
Exactly, good. A simple question, but one that most people can't seem to answer. That's the essence of a scientist, Hisao. We observe what's there and try to figure it out. But what if there's something you can't figure out? What's a scientist to do if he can't observe something? How, for example, can we talk about quarks when nobody has ever actually seen one? Or black holes when observing them directly is impossible? Well, scientific equipment's pretty advanced. Muto irritably waves away my response.
That's
No.
the bitch answer.
No, that's not it at all. Those are tools. I'm trying to give you a philosophy.
But that's a different science.
Is it a science?
Yes?
Think. If you can't observe something directly, then how can you observe it? Guess? How? How would you guess the movement of a quark? What is your guess based on? course. I should have thought of it earlier. The things it affects. Muto claps his hands together excitedly and whoops. Whoop! Yes, exactly. Good. Remember that, he said. If you can't examine something directly, it's because you're looking at it wrong. You have to look at it differently if you want to uncover the truth. And if it eludes you, then look at what it leaves behind. That is the essence of being a scientist. We never stop looking for the answer. Never take anything for granted. Observe, experiment, and observe some more. There's a lot of stuff out there that makes no sense, Hisao. Your job is to get it to make sense. If nothing else, I hope you've learned that here. I think I can remember that. Muto smiles, satisfied. Good. Now go enjoy your time off. You've earned it. Zombie! I get the feeling that, it's a good thing we did that, because I feel like Hisao's gonna apply that to Emmy now.
I'm hoping he does.
You know, like, she's not gonna tell
All
me.
right. First we watch her, then we experiment, then we watch her some more.
I was thinking more like, what? She's not telling us, so the information is eluding us in that way, so let's talk to the other people who know her. I leave the room feeling a little confused. What brought that on? Although, am I going about this thing with Emmy the wrong way? If she won't tell me, then can I go about it some other way?
But in a way that won't make me feel like some jerk ass that went around behind her back.
The question keeps...
I mean, she didn't tell you not to pursue it.
Yeah. In fact, she never really said anything about it except... Eh.
Do not pursue Lubu. I mean my secrets.
Who's Lubu? Nothing! Let's have sex! The question keeps spinning in my head even after I made my way back to my room.
You may not pursue Lubu, but we're chasing after our lewd boo.
Haha. Good one, too.
Man, what if she gets angry about it? Besides, what if it's nothing?
Well, I think at this point we know it's not nothing.
Yeah! If I go in and refuse to leave until she tells me what's wrong or something, won't that come off as clingy?
Eh.
I will say, I think that is probably accurate.
I think the big question for me here is how long has this supposed to have been? Because time
Well,
matters a lot.
If we assume it's from the point where she was having nightmares, it's been like months.
Was it? Because like they only said it's been like, because
At least 1 month.
Because here's the thing, that happened like right when she like got in her wheelchair, right? Thereabouts. Because from how it's
I remember. She got in the wheelchair. We went to visit her. She fell asleep with us, and she started having the dream.
it seemed like, based on the way the text was, it seems like she got out of her wheelchair like today. And they only said they said she was only going to be in it for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
I think it's still been like a month.
but how long have we known her in total? Is also the thing.
I assume just the semester.
Because they definitely did a time skip before the last time we saw her, because Hisao had said that it had been easy for the two of them not to see each other. So obviously at least a couple weeks have passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said the exams were like soon, but not then.
But if this is a problem that's been going on for at least 2 months, then it's obviously serious.
I mean, I assumed it was just PTSD from her accident, but
That's what I'm thinking it is too, but
Yeah, but that one, like, obviously it also affected her running because she hurt herself near the end of the track.
I don't think that's
I thought that was more like she was hurt and she was pushing herself to try and ignore it because she didn't want to stop.
Yeah, so it like had to do with it, but I think it is just she was doing more running and it was too much. And
Yeah,
I don't think
she's trying to push through whatever's bothering her with more physical activity.
Oh. I just thought of something. She's been pushing herself to get through things with physical activity by running more, right?
Yeah.
She just spent
like whenever something's bothering her, she runs harder.
Yeah, she just spent like a month not being able to run.
Yeah, so that's why it's probably bothering her more and more. She doesn't have her
Yeah.
outlet.
Yeah.
It's probably why she looks fucked up these days.
Yeah. I do feel like he is right. Like, if you just go in and keep asking and like force it'll seem clingy. And like, here's the fact: if you constantly pester someone to give you information, they're not going to be happy when they tell you the information. They're just going to want you to leave them alone. And
Bear in mind, at multiple times, like throughout it, and paced out decently, he has said, "Hey, if you want to talk, I'm around,"
yeah, but it does, and like, it's a thing where like,
and it has not worked.
yeah, it's a thing where if hang on, I just got a text. Ah,
It's from
spam
Emmy. Shut up.
text. No, it was a spam text. Okay, like, you got to be careful about something like this, but when it's starting to seem this serious, I think like this is the point where you would start asking the people who know Emmy. Raid would probably like have no idea, so I think this is the point where we would start asking the nurse, maybe, like,
Probably.
out of concern for Emmy. And if it's something even he doesn't know,
I think it's
Well-
likely it's something he can't tell us.
She's been trying to not tell the nurse anything, and the last time we saw the nurse is like, okay, I gotta call her mom because she's not telling me.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think that was her not. I think that was her not telling him about her injury because she didn't want to be put in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Because she was put in the
But it-
wheelchair. She was put in the wheelchair like right after we forced her to talk to the nurse.
But point, that does mean even he has to go the indirect route for Remy. For Emmy.
For for your dog.
Yeah, your dog.
Yeah, but look, even he has to go indirect with her, so it's not just us.
Yeah,
I mean, at the very least, if he calls her mom, she can do something about it.
yeah. I think honestly that I don't know, because here's the thing, and this is why like it's a visual novel. They're gonna go whatever route it is. We're gonna make like one choice, and that's gonna be it. But if in like a real situation with this, your options are force her to talk to you, which is gonna make her mad. Go like behind her back to get someone else to tell you, which is probably gonna make her mad. Or ignore it, which is gonna make the situation worse for her, just as it
Which
goes
is also
on.
bad.
Yeah.
So it's like the best thing to do is like get some more information, because it's not like she said drop it, she's just avoiding it. So get more information and see about your plan of attack from there.
Yeah. We have, because like we have clearly tried multiple times to like talk to her about it, and she has not. So, if we were to like keep pushing for, I feel like she would not be quick to give in. I feel like she'd be quicker to like just walk away. Well, leave us than to
I'm on it.
thank you, than to leave us than to actually tell us if she got mad. And if we start having to physically hold her there, that's going to cause its own problems. So it's not.
No.
Yeah. So no on that. But
So I feel like we need like we need like a
we need an
informed we need an informed what's the word
Intervention?
that's the word. Yes, thank you, Tim. An
We
informed
may-
intervention.
basically we need to have some bit of the information so we can be like, is it about this? And that kind of like gets the door open and gets her into like the state of, well, if you know that much, might as well explain.
Yeah,
I would-
we need to impart to her that we are serious.
I wonder if Rin knows stuff we don't, because if we had the
Probably.
option, we could ask Rin.
Probably, she does live with her.
I mean, they live together in the same way that me and Kenji live together, and I don't know a damn thing about that guy.
I mean,
No,
you've seen a
they-
lot of Kenji.
Yeah, but still. But
Yeah, but Rin and Emmy actually are friends, whereas Kenji's just a guy who shows up to annoy you.
yeah, but also like it is Rin. It's entirely possible, and also the fact that she has her own route tells me she probably has her own share of problems going on.
I mean, everyone has their problems.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like if she did, here's the thing with Rin. First, she would have to notice. Then she would have to find out about what's going on, which, unless Emmy just straight up voluntarily tells her, requires Rin to care, for lack of a better word. And then we would need to get her to acknowledge that we need the information, which for Rin seems like it's asking a lot. Like, I just don't. I don't think Rin would be the best source of information about what's going on with Emmy. And admittedly, the main reason for that is because she's probably as likely to know about what's happening with Emmy as we are, and we don't. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, just overall, I feel like what we're probably gonna have to do is, like, go around,
Gather information.
Gather information from the nurse, gather the nurse, collect the nurses. We have to get information from the nurse, possibly even from her mother if we end up going that route.
It'd be kind of weird, just first time we contact her, aside from that one meet, she's like,
Well-
hey, by the way.
We don't exactly have her number. We'd have to ask the nurse.
Eh.
But yeah, getting information that way, and then we can kind of go to Emmy. Like, I know there is something going on. It has to do with, let's be honest, it has to do with your father. I'm here to help. Please, at least explain to me what's going on so I can stop worrying, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because telling me not to worry without giving me information does not make me stop worrying.
Yeah, at this point, I'm wondering what the full extent of it is, because she almost seems to have like a mental block past a certain point.
I mean,
She's like not thinking about the future at all.
I think that might just be indicative of how she's kind of like frozen, looking back at the past because she can't really let go. Her brain's too busy thinking about, like, what happened and what could have been than thinking about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I took a psychology course in college, did you know? Anyway. I didn't want to start a fight or anything over something like this. Maybe I should just drop the matter and see how she is tomorrow before I do anything. Also, well, I get that that's referring to, like, the exams, because, like, the exams happen, we're waiting to see how she is after that. Constantly going, like, let's see how she is tomorrow, and see if she's better, and then she's not better. That's not solving anything.
Yeah. At this point, though, it's fine because there was a source of stress that just ended, so we're seeing how she reacts to it.
Yeah. Would it be so bad to just let it go? Let it go?
Probably.
It's not like we don't enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
Odd as it sounds, I really want to help her.
Focus on that. Underline it.
I don't even know what with or if there's anything at all she needs help for. But I want to.
There you go.
Suddenly, a knock at my door rouses me.
Aha!
Okay. I was in serious mode for a while there, to the point where, like, something was said, and my brain went, heh, but not right now. I'm trying to, and I don't even remember what it was now. Oh boy. I opened it to see
Already?
I heard you were being serious.
It's time to fix that. Oh, it's you. It's me? That's it? If you had any idea what I've been through, what I've done, you'd be happier to see me, dude. I mean, that was some epic you may never see me again shit. And here you're just acting like I went down to the store for some milk. You're a cold man, Isao. I really respect that. Thanks, I guess. It's smart to play it safe, you know. Don't show any emotion. Keep your cards close to your chest. Unless it's time to show your cards, or you have bad cards. Then you should fold or collect your winnings. You understand? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I take it the mission went well. Whoa, awfully nosy of you, isn't it? You can't just go saying things like that. Things are at a delicate stage. One wrong move and bam! The invasion succeeds! I thought you were going to blow the conspiracy wide open. It's bigger than I thought. I need to update my charts. And probably change some of the puppets around. You want to help? I've got some whiskey from somewhere. You can fill me in on everything your investigation has turned up. Better not. I'm, supposed to meet her today. Gotta go do that. Can't raise suspicion. Kenji nods in approval. Still keeping it close to the chest, eh? Okay, man, I respect that. Good luck. Thanks. I'm just going to pretend, for the sake of my own sanity, that he's wishing me luck in talking to Emmy. And if I squint, that whole card analogy he was talking about works here. Time to lay it all on the table. Or see if I can't get Emmy to do so, rather. With a sense of something approaching purpose, I head for Emmy's room. I hop up the stairs leading to her room and knock on her door.
Sonic spring noises.
A bounce pad!
Who's there?
Huh, that's odd. Her voice sounds a little choked. Hey, it's me. Thought I'd stop by.
Hey, Sal? Come on in.
I reach down to open the door only to find that it's locked. Haha, pranked! More and more curious. Your door's locked.
Break it down. I'm into it.
Well, all right then. It starts dancing. Let me break it down for you, Mark. In a few minutes, Emmy opens the door, grinning.
Sorry, had to put my legs on. I was napping.
Despite her grin, there's
I thought of a terrible joke earlier, by the way, when we were in that serious conversation, whenever we brought up that the nurse had to call her mom.
What?
Young lady, you are grounded. Takes legs. Sit on the floor. Damn it, Mom.
That's. I think Tim and I are rubbing off on you, Rhino. That's something from our brand of humor. Despite her grin, there's something definitely off. Emmy's eyes are slightly red, and it looks like she's been crying.
Also, that ambient music certainly isn't happy.
Hey, no problem. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
It's just that you look like you've been crying. Oh yeah, Hisao, you're off to a great start on this one.
Well, look, you're letting you know you're not ignorant to this. What? No, I'm fine. I'm just happy to see you.
She punctuates this with a long kiss that continues as the door slams shut behind us.
She's distracting you again.
I know what she wants to do now.
Damn, piano man, calm down.
And I'm also painfully aware of how badly I want to do it too, but I break the kiss with a wrench of self-control that nearly kills me. Hey, wait. Emmy's eyes crinkle in confusion.
Huh? Wait for what?
We need to talk.
Uh-oh. He said the words.
In Dragonlance!
Is that supposed to be my line? And never a good thing to say?
He's got a point. It's usually the lead into a breakup, or the prelude to a fight. Maybe it could be a good thing this time. That's the hope, anyway.
Huh. Can we at least get onto the bed? It's my first day back on these things and I'm still readjusting. Okay, so today is literally like the first day she's back on. Plus, the nurse said I should try and be on them less often since running puts such a strain on them.
Can't argue with that. It's a trap, we both know it, and we both don't care. Then again, it's awfully hard to get angry while in the bed with the object of your affections, so maybe there's that motivation too.
Don't forget about the Rin hole.
I set Emmy's legs by the bedside and sit down next to her, throwing an arm around her shoulders.
Hey, buddy.
The limbs are just going everywhere!
Ow.
Let me tell you about Goldfish Heaven.
In silence, we just enjoy being able to be in this position again for a few minutes. Then, of course, I need to ruin it by opening my mouth. Wanna fuck? Look, I know that you've been having kind of a rough time of it lately. And I want to help you out. I thought it was just exams getting to you, but now I come to your room and you've been crying, and that kills me. But I can't do anything if you won't talk to me about it.
I told you, I'm fine.
No, you aren't. It's obvious something's eating at you.
Is it Rin? Is she hungry at night? Looks down at legs. There's a bite mark. No.
Hisao, it was never an accident. It was Rin. Tell me, you know. There's the slightest increase in tension in Emmy's voice.
Why is my saying I'm fine not good enough?
Because it's lying.
You're concerned. I get that. That's cool. But I'm fine, and it's nothing that you need to worry about. Ah, she's putting up her shields.
Not sleeping and spacing out more than Rin doesn't strike me as being fine.
Oof.
Just, I want to help.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't like seeing you like this. I want you to be happy, you know? I get the feeling that came out wrong because Emmy fixes me with an icy stare. I want to
I
remind
don't
everyone.
think that really came out wrong.
I want to remind everyone just real quick before this gets bad. We haven't made any choices aside from whether or not to listen to Muto.
So you want to fix me, Hisao? He didn't use that word.
She's definitely getting angry now.
Want to swoop in on your white charger and save the day? I don't like this. I don't like this face. Stop the nightmares, the phantom limb pains.
Okay. I hate when
All
people
right,
get
we're
like.
getting some hints here. Restore what's lost.
I
Tim,
hate when people get like this, dude. You're just trying to help, and they immediately go for the worst possible thing because they can't accept it.
I will say, Tim, in this case, I don't think it's that. I think she's like cracking and it's just kind of flooding out now.
It's cracking and you're getting stabbed by the shards.
Yeah, I think it's that she's not assuming the worst of you. She's just, it's coming out, basically. Her voice, yep.
There it is.
Her voice catches in her throat and the tears start to flow.
Well, you can't. Nobody can. Nobody will.
I'm so stunned by her sudden verbal assault that I remain quiet. Neither of us says anything for a while. I'm surprised that Emmy tightens her grip on me rather than pushing me away. Yeah,
Huzzah!
I was worried at first the way it started, but yeah, no, that was definitely her just like. I think the best way I can think of to describe it is like we finally put a crack in her shield, and she was mad about it, but also couldn't stop it from coming out, and so it came out from as her sounding mad, and then she was
There's a lot of tension coming out.
and then it's like the tension is gone now, and she's like not better, but the anger's kind of gone, I think.
And you let out some of the pressure.
Yeah, exactly. After a deep breath, she starts talking again.
Look, I'm sorry. There's these nightmares about the accident.
Ah, the accident. Should have known. It took her legs, after all. It never comes up, of course.
I mean, who would want to talk about it? And I usually deal with them fine, because I can run. Running clears my head like nothing else. I don't have to worry about anything while I'm running. I just concentrate on breathing, on the rhythm of things. Tick, 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 tick. It's easier that way. Life's easier that way. Just keep moving forward, you know? Nothing else matters, just getting around the next curve.
That also explains about a lot about her, like, not talking about things after school. It's like she's very short-sighted when it comes to that sort of thing.
It's less being short-sighted, more she does not want to think about it.
No, I know, but I mean, that is... She's being deliberately short-sighted.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
She has her blinders on.
Yeah, like, she's just choosing to just focus on, like, today and tomorrow instead of down the line. Which I get. I am guilty of that, too.
And then it's the next curve, and the next, until I can't go anymore, or think anymore, or do anything but slow down and walk until I catch my breath again. Just something like that, nothing else matters. But I've been stuck in that goddamn wheelchair for too long, so no outlet.
That's what it was. Right. We were talking.
We did say that she had no outlet.
Yeah, you said she had no outlet, and my mind went, she's my outlet. No, don't say that right now.
No.
Yeah, that was the thing that came up where I was like, situation's too serious for that joke right now.
Today it just kind of boiled over a little.
You could have talked to me about it, you know. You didn't have to go it alone. Emmy smiles sadly, like she's trying to explain to a child that all fire burns.
Professor will help. Ah, fire indeed hot. Yeah, I did. And I do.
But why? Why do you have to keep going through this alone? Why can't you just trust me enough to let me help you? That smile again. Emmy leans in and kisses me on my cheek, an almost motherly gesture. She leaves her mouth close to my ear as she confesses this one thing to me.
You're a dumbass bitch. Because, Hisao, I've already had everything I knew ripped away from me once. I don't know what I'd do if it happened again.
She pauses, as if uncertain as to whether or not she should continue. I could feel a violent churning in my gut. She continues.
So, I can't rely on you. Or the nurse. Or anyone else. Just me. Ah. That's how it's got to be. I get it.
Yeah. Having delivered this short speech, she looks down and covers her mouth with the back of her hand. The conversation is clearly over. I search for something to say, but can't think of anything. Maybe I should go for now.
I think you can leave on a better note than that.
Yeah, like, if I had a choice here, I've got stuff. Emmy doesn't even look up. She sounds tired or relieved. I can't tell which.
Okay, Sal. Go take care of that stuff. I'll see you tomorrow.
I get off the bed and head for the door, pausing at the doorway.
Alright, come on.
Hey,
Give me some
Emmy?
good last words. Yeah? Fuck, it's so far away now.
1,000 things I want to say. I'm too mixed up to say any of them, though. After her admitting that she'll never let me close, I feel like my world's just been ripped out from me.
Oh, that's a fair point for his half of it. He was like looking towards the future and everything, and she's just like, there is none. He's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oof.
What happened in that accident? I know she lost her legs, but that's never seemed to bother her.
Oh wait, did we not know that she lost her dad?
I think in character we don't know.
Have we as players only figured it out and he hasn't?
I think so, and even then, I think we're just like, I mean, it's obvious. He doesn't know. What happened there?
It didn't occur to me he didn't know.
What scares a girl so badly that she won't accept help, even from someone she loves? I don't know. But I want to know. I want to know so badly that being denied that answer feels like a knife in my guts.
Hey, Sal? You were saying?
I'm still standing in the doorway. Nothing. Never mind. And I'm closing the door. And walking down the hallway. Down the stairs. Out the door. Into the dark.
Is it time to punch something random?
Kenji, get over here. Somehow I wander back to my own room. My brains are doing a mile a minute, going nowhere fast. I can't figure out how to deal with this. I thought that moving forward was a good thing. Dwelling less on a past that I can't change. Living in the present and looking at the future. After this thing with Emmy, I'm not sure anymore. She was saying the truth. It's simpler to look at the next curve, ignoring the path gone by. No worry about the opponent left behind. No care for the spectators on the sidelines. And unfortunately, No time to watch out for lagging teammates either. I throw myself down on the bed, looking at one corner of my ceiling as if the answers I want were written there. No such luck, of course.
Just spiders.
She's literally running away from something. But have I not been doing the same thing? Trying my best to forget about my hospitalization?
I mean, you've been fine. You kind of just been moving on from it. The throwing away the letter from the girl who had a crush on you as the last one to visit you was kind of a dick move. But other than that, I think you're doing fine.
I am getting better, but my health isn't going to magically fix itself. Emmy has 2 legs instead of a heart to deal with. Those aren't going to magically fix themselves either. Maybe this is just as fixed as the both of us can get.
Flip table. You've been doing fine.
The room becomes darker and darker, until I can't really tell I'm looking at a corner anymore.
Breathe, stupid.
The morning comes too soon on the heels of a sleepless night. Is this how Emmy's been spending her nights? Staring at the wall or ceiling, trying to stop thinking about whatever it is? Her, in my case. That clenched feeling in my gut is still there. I can't rely on you. Words spoken so casually. Almost like she were teasing me or chastising me for suggesting that the earth is flat. That's how it's got to be. The way it's got to be sucks. I'm feeling so miserable that I very nearly decide to skip the run. That would be stupid, though. It's not something I should do just to see her. Sure, that was the original reason, but it's something more now. I've started to enjoy the running itself.
Oh.
There are worse ways to get the blood flowing, anyway. Never thought I'd say it after the first week or so, but I feel a lot better after a run. Like, no matter what else I do today, I've at least done that one thing.
That's nice.
It wakes me up, too. And Emmy herself said that running always clears her mind. Maybe it'll help clear mine. I hope so.
I kind of get that. It's like if you have shit to do, if you can at least get like one thing done to start it off with, you're like, I have at least been slightly productive today.
Yeah. The morning is cool and clear, if a bit humid. Summer's making itself known, it seems.
What up, world? Are you ready to get hot?
Yes, summer.
Damn right. Fingers shooting out beams.
Emmy's already...
And I will stop these quips if you want me to.
I think you've been knowing when to stop them. I think you're fine. Emmy's already stretching out when I arrive and greets me with a smile and a wave.
Hey, Sal.
The sight of her so chipper is like a kick in the nuts.
Oof.
How could she be so happy after yesterday? I mean, yeah, I get that. Just being like, everything's back to normal. And I'm just like,
I think the difference is that she knew where she stood on it, and he didn't. So he's the one that's had his world rocked, whereas she has basically just informed him of what she already thought.
Yeah, but, like, she's completely oblivious to the fact that we didn't think that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure she realized just how much that destroyed us.
I give a half wave and am surprised to receive a hug.
Hey, about last night,
Here it comes.
I wanted to say thanks. Oh! I actually managed to get some sleep for the first time in a while, and I think it's because of our talk. So, thanks.
How could she sleep better after our chat? She basically told me that she wouldn't get any closer to me. That let her sleep well? The other part, moron!
Ooh, the bitterness is coming out.
Excuse me, but what the hell?
Okay, keep it inside. Keep it inside.
Look, they haven't given me a choice yet. Last thing we got to choose was whether or not to talk to Muto.
I know, but at this point, I'm sitting there, like, jumping up and down on these doubles, like, keep it in your head.
And I'm there, the one who's always like, haha, sex, and I'm like, no. We're working together for the first time.
I love us being just little, like, I don't even know what we would
we're the
look like.
voices in Deadpool's head, but for Emmy, or but for Hisao.
Yeah, pretty much.
Emmy,
Just text boxes just springing up and down on his thoughts.
the text box. Your text boxes are always no, no, no. Emmy either doesn't notice my bafflement or chooses not to notice. No telling with her anymore. Oh, no problem. Glad it helped.
There you go.
The venom that threatens to drip into my voice is controlled for now. But I think I'd better start running now before I do anything stupid.
There you go.
Yeah, like, I know what she means by that. He's focusing, which, like, I get, but, like, I feel like it's pretty obvious she means, like, when she actually got to talk to him about, like, about her nightmares. It's not like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm so glad I told you that I don't love you, or something like that.
Yeah, but
Which
Sally, that's the part that he's dwelling on. And so
Yeah.
that shit is fresh for him.
Yeah.
So that is his lens. He's seeing it all through.
Yeah. Emmy seems equally willing to get started, and before long we're darting around the track.
Oh, I think I just figured out what my visualization for us is.
What?
Do you know who the Great Kazoo is?
No.
Okay, so essentially he's a sort of a niche Flintstones character who is like a green wish-granting alien who would hang around occasionally. And so
I've
his
seen
thing he would
I've
often...
seen pictures of this guy. I didn't know who he was.
So my visualization of us is kind of like a more vague version of that. So when he sells running, we're like lounging in the air and just keeping up to him on speed, just around his head where no one else can see.
The Great Renew. I can tell she feels more relaxed. Her running has gone back to the more graceful movements I remember from when I first watched her. It's a stark contrast to the almost brutal way she's been hurling herself around the track these past few days.
Okay, well, there's improvement.
Our talk really does seem to have helped her. A pity it couldn't help me. I get into the rhythm of the running, thinking back to when I couldn't afford thinking about anything else, but keeping my breathing steady and legs moving. Guess those days are gone. At least for the first couple of laps. Annoyed at the lack of success I'm having with clearing my head, I increase the pace.
Oh boy.
There's the burning sensation in my legs.
As long as it stays there.
The breath's coming ragged in my chest, the pounding of my heart.
Calm down.
Which I still need to be careful about.
Okay, good, he knows.
It does seem to have gotten stronger. I feel it pumping blood through my veins.
Ugh.
The sound thrums in my ears, but instead of being panicked as I was that day in the snow, I'm instead filled with elation. Yes, it's working. My heart, that fatal flaw that landed me here, has improved. I'm able to keep going now, and maybe one day I'll be able to stop worrying as much. Right now, it doesn't matter that I have no idea what to do about Emmy and me. All that matters is that my arms and legs continue to pump in concert with one another. Nothing else. As I hit the final stretch, I remind myself that running really does help, though not as much as I'd hoped. I do feel better, and as I walk a few laps to cool down, I begin to remember last night in a slightly less emotional manner.
Can I do a quick pause here and just say I appreciate characters that don't just fucking voice the inner thoughts and make things worse.
Yeah.
Actually take a moment, be like, okay, look, I'm not in a good headspace. I'm gonna go do a thing. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Afterwards, okay, it's not as bad as I was making it out to be.
Yes.
Still annoyed and emotional, but I'm better.
Emmy wants me to stay distant from her. I can't bring myself to do so. There's got to be a way around this, some kind of middle ground I can reach.
Yay.
Not sure what that middle ground is, though. Damn, I was almost feeling optimistic.
Nice run, Hisao. You really improved.
Nice run. That's all I can hope for now, isn't it? Congratulations, Hisao. You're pathetic.
The bitterness is rising again.
I gotta change my attitude.
Yanks the lemon out of your mind, puts in cake.
Well, you know, I am pretty awesome. Lemons are sour, not bitter. They are. Like, if you ask someone to name a sour food at all, they will say lemon.
I feel
Although
like bitter and sour have some crossings.
one of the original fruits that lemons came from is called a bitter orange.
Yeah, but it's not bitter.
Yeah, but
Sour is like spicy in that it's one of those things that's like a technically painful sensation, but you can still enjoy it. Bitter just tastes bad. Period. The end.
the crazy thing
people
is
like dark chocolate, and that's bitter.
true.
Yeah,
Dark
but it's
chocolate's
mixed
pretty
with,
good.
but it's mixed with
People
sweet.
Some people also like black coffee.
Yeah, some people do like bitter.
I choose not to believe those people exist.
It's funny how fruit invented spice so we wouldn't eat it, and then humans were like, I like this, let's make it inedibly hot.
Jalapeno throws up its arms. Fuck!
Well, you know, I am pretty awesome. And yet I just keep saying things that I don't mean. Any second now I'll be as good as hiding my problems I'll be as good at hiding my problems as Emmy is.
I like to think so.
Why does she do this to me? Say something like that with such real affection in her voice that it makes my heart leap. She doesn't mean it. She can't. I must be doing a worse job than I thought, because Emmy peers closely at me.
Hey, you feeling okay? Maybe we should get to the nurse, huh?
Yeah, I'd hate to keel over on you.
I felt like that one had some bitter in it. Yep, it did.
Emmy looks a little shocked at my bitter tone.
Don't say things like that. Already done it once before, you know.
Why does she act so affectionate? She doesn't really care. Thought she made that clear. Despite all of that, I find myself apologizing, even though I shouldn't have to. Even though she's probably just putting on an act. Sorry. Come on, let's see the nurse. I can't get myself to calm down the whole time.
Oh boy.
Every time it feels like I've gotten over what happened last night, Emmy does something or says something that shows affection, and I'm back to the beginning. The image of her ending that conversation haunts me. It was like the final twist of the knife that left me feeling bereft of any hope that Emmy and I could be more than what we are. And what are we at this point? Little more than friends who happen to fuck. And really, it's not like I don't enjoy the time I spend with her. Said so the other day myself. I very nearly didn't even bring anything up with her. Was just gonna hop on in there and let it ride, wasn't I? With this running through my head, I find myself in front of the nurse's office, still brooding as he checks out Emmy. Emmy comes bounding out of the door, gives me a kiss, and darts off to shower, I assume. Meanwhile, the nurse beckons me into his office to give me the ritual once over. Hey, it's Tim time!
Tim time.
Any problems today?
Nah, I even pushed it a little harder than I have in the past, and I seemed able to handle it.
That's uncharacteristically risky coming from you, Hisao. You've been hanging out with Emmy too much. She's rubbed off on you, and not necessarily in a good way.
At the mention of Emmy's name, I can't help but frown unhappily in spite of my efforts at control.
Well now, this is new, don't you think? Last I checked, your usual response to Emmy's name is a grin, not a frown. What exactly happened between you two? Because Emmy doesn't seem to be in on it, whatever it is. She looked more relaxed than I've seen her in weeks, which is unusual for this time of the year.
Oh.
Oh, anniversary.
I wonder if it's coming up on the anniversary. Yep.
What do you mean by that?
By what?
For this time of year. I keep trying to find out what's been bothering her, but she clams up as soon as I broach the subject.
I didn't mention the time of year.
Then last night... Yeah, you did.
No, I was pretending he was gaslighting him.
Oh, okay. Then last night she said...
Let me guess. She won't tell you because she says she can't trust you. Now you're crushed because you thought that the two of you were so much more than she seems to think, right?
What the fuck?
Is he... This sounds like he's rubbing it in, and I don't like it! More or less? How the heck did you know?
Hisao, I'm the nurse. It's my job to know these things.
Yeah, but this is a level beyond that.
Plus, I've known Emmy for long enough to know that she tried to do something like this. It's just like her.
Okay, I accept that one, but
He says this in a sort of half-affectionate, half-frustrated tone that would seem more appropriate if he had a cigarette dangling from his lips.
pulls it out. Damn kids.
As it is, he seems willing to make do with a pen. Damn kids. Click.
Look, you mind if I give you some advice?
Yes.
Yes! Do it! We were literally going to come talk to him anyway! What was it Buto said yesterday? If you can't observe the thing, then observe what's around it. I wonder, would we have not gotten this choice if we didn't talk to Muto?
Maybe.
Not sure.
That?
This seems like it.
I think it might just change the dialogue.
Maybe, but
This
Worth a
reminds me of a Reddit thing I saw. We'll see.
the nurse knows Emmy better than I do, I'll wager. Sure, I'm open to suggestions. Honestly, I'm kind of lost. I've got
And
no idea.
brooding.
I've got no idea how to deal with this.
I never would have guessed.
He grins
Damn
while
you,
he
cheeky
says-
Nurse Tim who knows all the secrets.
He grins while he says this. I think he's kidding.
Look, here's the deal. Emmy is stubborn.
Grass is green. Now your turn.
You should know that by now, and if you don't know, then you're pretty unobservant, but I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here.
I'm so grateful.
Anyway, if she's decided that she doesn't want to talk about what happened, then she's not going to talk about what's happened. Has she said anything about what's been bothering her? Even a hint?
Losing everything that she cared about in one fell swoop.
Well, she did say she'd been having nightmares about the accident.
Really? You're making progress then. That's good.
I don't think we've ever seen him with both his eyes open. I don't think we've ever seen his right eye open, actually. Only his left.
His right eye is where he hides all his power.
He's like Sans.
It's like Kakashi wearing his headband over one eye.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can fill you in on this without violating my strict non-interference policy when it comes to Emmy making stupid decisions. The anniversary of her accident is coming up soon. She gets depressed around this time because it was a pretty traumatic event, considering what she lost.
That's the other thing. She acted like she lost more than just her legs. What happened?
Oh my god, you're a dumbass!
She lost her favorite car.
Whoa, nope, not going there. You'll have to ask someone else about that, because that's a whole can of worms I'm not about to open.
I feel like it's not just us being genre savvy, right? There were hints.
Like,
I feel-
I'm pretty sure at the very least it was explicitly said that her dad died. And at that point...
Didn't her mom at the track say her dad's not around anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I think he knows her dad's not around. Has he just not made the connection?
Or has he like been, or is he doing the stupid thing of like he's not around, so he's in another city?
I mean, like, she never talks about her dad. She had a dream about her dad. Her mom is totally 100% okay. She's not injured.
She literally said, "Hey, I used to run with my dad all the time."
Like he sounds stupid. Like right?
Like this
I
isn't
don't know. I don't know how much that's been us assuming, but
this isn't us just reading into it. This is him not reading into it.
Like it was like I feel like it was pretty like ever since I first knew. Because didn't we like literally before we knew anything about Emmy's condition aside from she lost her legs at some point, I was like probably lost them in a car accident. And then like once we learned her dad's
you
dead,
did do your shot in the dark thing with that, yes.
and then once we learned her dad's dead, I was like probably died in the same accident. And it's like we were literally going through this game thinking he sound new. That's how certain we were about it.
I'm pretty sure
it seemed
even
like it was pretty good with the hints.
I'm pretty sure even when I was 17 and this game came out and I played it, if I got to this point, I would have figured it out.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll get the stop sign ready to hit him over the head with it.
Like, it would be one thing if he said was like, is it something like, no, I don't want to think about that. But no, he's literally being like, I don't get it. I've got 2 and 2, but I can't put them together.
I mean,
If Emmy wants you to know, she'll tell you on her own time. You've just got to be patient. That's all.
this is gonna take a lot away from when they finally do the big dramatic reveal. It's like my dad is like, no shit. I mean, I'm sorry for you, but this is not new to us.
We're gonna have
It's new to this guy.
We're gonna have the thing where the screen goes black and he sound monologues about it for a while, and we're just like, dude, where were you 12 hours of gameplay ago? Why are you even helping me with all this?
Because you're good for her. She trusts you, even if you don't think she does. And you got the best chance out of anyone at the school right now to help her through this time of year. She won't accept my help, but she might accept yours if you don't screw it up. So don't screw it up, got it?
I open my mouth to respond, but a knocking sound at the door interrupts me.
Oh, now what?
Hey, you guys still in there?
Just a moment, Emmy. Give us a second to get our pants back on.
Busted immediately.
Yeah, the nurse took his pants off too.
Jeez, I love that she busted immediately.
You know what? I sorry, I need to point something out here. Like, before we even move on. This actually, yeah, I know he was just joking around, but I think that actually proves that Emmy cares, because he was like, we were having sex, and then Emmy came in like, you know, what the fuck did you say?
She wanted to see who was bigger. It's probably him.
It's like you don't take him away from me. The door bursts open, and Emmy glares knives at the nurse.
Asshole.
Didn't mean to get your hopes up. Emmy, asshole. Me. No, we already tried that. Hey, can we leave me out?
It's funny that apparently the nurse knew that the track team captain was also gay.
I feel like it's not exactly a secret. We just don't know the guy.
Yeah. Also, he is the nurse for more people than just like us and Emmy. So.
That's probably come up, yeah.
Yeah. Especially for
really,
like, you know,
after a certain point, one of the things they start to ask is, when is the last time you banged?
Yeah. Hey, can we leave me out of this? Anyway,
Hi, Sylvia.
Hey, Sylvia. What's up, Emmy? Forget something? I try to take a more cheerful tone with her. No need to upset her. Two could play the everything's fine game.
Actually, I forgot to ask you something.
Yeah, Rhino, that did sound a little more spiteful than I wanted it to. Oh, what's that?
Do you want to come with me on a trip to my house?
Oh!
Well, this is a good step.
I guess she lives nearby.
My mom's making dinner, and I thought you might want to join us. Yay!
Well, of course I accept.
Nurse!
Emmy punches the nurse in the arm playfully.
Probably the mom vote is dead. Yeah, I did see that.
Oh, he actually does. He actually does come to her house.
Not you, idiot. You were over last week. I was talking to Hisao.
Nurse would ever want to be cautious of STFs. Yeah, so I imagine it, like, obviously, like, you know, most nurses at schools aren't gonna, or STDs. Yeah, I thought STFs was just, like, another word for it.
Do you think that's where I got the lube?
You know what?
Maybe.
Oh, how interesting. Meeting the parent.
I'd love to go, Emmy. Thanks.
He doesn't know we've already met her mom, if briefly.
Yeah, that and he just gave another hint.
Yeah. The nurse raises an eyebrow but says nothing.
Great, I'll be in my room, swing by into your shower and change into something clean, and we'll grab the bus.
Sounds good. I'll see you in a bit. This time it's me who leans in for a quick kiss before darting off to my room.
Yay!
What an interesting development. Maybe we're getting closer after all. Maybe Emmy's finally ready to open up a little.
I mean...
Maybe she's just being polite, and a free meal seems like a good way to apologize for last night.
Hey, stop that.
Great, now I can't decide whether to be excited, nervous, or depressed.
Be excited.
I settle for a combination of all three and hop at the shower.
Fine, I'll take emotion soup.
Do 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 do.
Okay, so by the way, all cards on the table. I think I did see something on Reddit to where I do think if you hadn't talked to Muto, you wouldn't have been able to talk to the nurse.
Okay, so
So was the guide I was looking at before just wrong? Because it said the first 3 choices don't matter.
I don't know. It was a lot of mixed stuff. I couldn't tell what was true or not. So I kind of disregarded all of it, but that rings true of something I heard.
Like the one guide I found literally just says Act 3, your choice, your choice, your choice, big decision. This decision whether it affects whether you get Act 3 or Act 3 good ending or Act 4.
I mean, we'll see. So far, because also, it's like Max said, we do get Act 4 if we're on a good ending, but we skip it if we do bad and then get back on good.
yeah, because I double checked that because it seemed really weird.
Yeah,
But-
so I guess maybe the person's wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, like I admittedly I do now know what choice to make if we get on the bad ending, how to get back on the good ending. But
So far, going with our instincts is working well, though.
yeah, I mean my instincts were I'll listen to Muto, and look what it's gotten us.
Yeah,
Since I know-
literally like, I don't know what to do. Would you like advice? Yes.
Since I know what the decision is, I can safely say Max would have chosen the good ending option the first time.
Gang. All right, we'll see when we get there.
I don't think I like riding on buses.
Or horses.
Actually, I think I'm pretty comfortable saying that as a fact. They sway a lot, and they smell funny, and you can feel every bump in the road. I'm really not looking forward to this. Plus, Emmy's legs keep making a clanking noise that draws the attention of everyone else on the bus.
What?
She's in shorts again, and she's got long socks drawn up on her prosthetics so they don't look so obviously false again.
Oh, she may have like the casual walking around feet as opposed to the running feet.
Yeah. That doesn't stop the odd look or two every time her legs bump together with an audible clunk. I shift nervously in my seat, and Emmy raises an eyebrow questioning. She doesn't seem to mind the stares. Either that or she doesn't even notice that people are staring. I'm sure she's gotten her fill of odd looks before. After a certain amount of time, I doubt she'd notice anymore.
I feel like he's the only one noticing, because surely you would be hard-pressed to identify a single sound happening occasionally among all the other bus noises.
It might be an empty bus. Well,
no, because people are...
it might not,
People are noticing.
not completely empty, but like not a lot of people.
Eh.
Not that she'd ever tell me if I asked. Another fact is, I'm not just uncomfortable about the bus. I can't seem to come to terms with the fact that Emmy appears to be trying to push me or bring me closer while at the same time pushing me away.
Okay, so he's confused.
Mixed messages, yeah. The nurse said he trusts me, or the nurse said she trusts me. I trust
The nurse was a girl this whole time.
The nurse said she trusts me, even if she doesn't look like it. But I'm not sure I can trust the nurse. Really?
Really?
He's protective of Emmy, just like I'm protective of Emmy. I'd be likely to say something to make her look good if someone asked me about her.
He doesn't strike me as that sort of person.
So he might just be doing that. Still, there was something about the way he seemed genuinely surprised that Emmy invited me along. Maybe last night's talk helped more than I think, but I'm still worried. Meeting the parents is a big deal, right? Not that I haven't already met Emmy's mother, but that was just as an acquaintance. Now it's going to be as Emmy's boyfriend, with everything that implies. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest, an echo of that snow-covered afternoon that feels like it was so long ago that might as well be another life entirely. Except then, I didn't know what was going on. I also didn't have medication to help prevent things from spiraling out of control. I've come a long way in terms of my physical health, and for the second time today, I feel like I'll be able to live normally now, or at least as normally as possible. Now, if only I could manage my relationship as well as I've managed my heart, I'd be in great shape.
Oh, right, casual green Emmy. Well, we're here.
Emmy grabs my hand as soon as we've stepped off the bus. She starts heading down the street almost immediately.
I mean, honestly, the fact that she's been in such a good mood, I feel like should put him in a slightly better mood. I know he's thinking about shit, but like he has said multiple times before that just her being herself does make him happier.
Yeah, but that was also before She said what he interpreted as, we're not going to be a thing.
Yeah, that's fair. He's still got that tint over everything right now.
Yeah.
Come on, we got a couple blocks until my place.
What? Okay. I follow Emmy down the street, watching her confident stride. She's setting kind of a quick pace for just a walk.
How much would it throw us off if on one of these background shots there was just a person? Like just an actual photorealistic person.
Just Rin in the corner. I guess she's anxious to get there. So, does your mom do this sort of thing often?
Nah, not too frequently. Mom's never meant much for playing hostess.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, my dad was always the one pushing her to have people over.
This sudden and unprompted reference to her father catches me off guard. And from the look on Emmy's face, I'm not sure she meant to mention him. I think I've only ever heard her talk about him once.
My dad was the one who taught me to run.
All I remember is that Emmy's mom told me that he wasn't around anymore. I swear to God, don't be like, but
Did he just fucking forget? I swear.
Oh, your mom prefers solitude? Emmy laughs, either from relief that I didn't ask about her father or from finding my statement actually funny.
Not at all. She's why I'm such an outgoing person, you know? She just prefers to be a guest rather than a hostess. It's less stressful that way. Or so she says. Fair.
Clearly, she's never had to meet her girlfriend's mother for dinner. Emmy giggles again and speaks in a teasing tone.
Nervous as hell? Shouldn't be, you know. It's not that big of a deal. Just dinner at my house, that's all.
Yeah, but have you ever brought home a boyfriend before? I confess that part of me dreads hearing the answer to this. I know very little of Emmy's past relationships. I don't even know if there were past relationships.
No, I guess I haven't. Hey, maybe this really is kind of a big deal after all.
Oh good, now I feel twice as nervous. Though to tell the truth, I'm pretty happy to hear that I'm the first one.
Take your small wins.
Maybe we've got something special after all.
Hey, hope.
Bolstered by this new thought, I've managed to calm down considerably by the time Emmy knocks on her front door.
Knock, knock, open up the door, it's me.
With the non-stop pop-up and steel legs.
Hey, Mom, open up, we're here.
What
up?
I voiced her, didn't I?
I don't know.
The door swings open, and Mrs. Ibarazaki stands grinning at her daughter. The grin is still surprisingly similar to Emmy's. Yeah, I did voice her. I'm never going to get used to that. You know, people normally wait for a few minutes before they start shouting at the door.
And most mothers say hello to their daughters instead of scolding them right away.
Ah, of course. Welcome home, dear. I've missed you. I don't know, I just used to believe that she would say it in like that tone. An affectionate hug later, we're inside, and it is only then that Emmy's mom seems to remember that I'm actually here. And hello to you too, Hisao. How are you? I'm quite well, thank you. Nice to not have school to worry about for a little bit. Ah, yes, you finished up your exams, haven't you? That must be quite a relief for you both. It's certainly a weight off of my mind, that's for sure.
Mine too. I think I slept well for the first time in weeks last night from relief alone.
If this news is a surprise to Emmy's mother, she doesn't show it. Still, her response betrays a note of interest.
Is that Japanese Mountain Dew in the background?
Is that so? I'm very glad to hear that, Emmy. You know I get worried when you get all wound up about, well, exams. Certainly Emmy's mother knows something I don't. Or rather, she doesn't know that Emmy's told me about the nightmares. It's interesting being able to observe how Mrs. Ibarazaki covers for Emmy. That protective instinct to make sure that I don't know any more than Emmy's willing to tell me. I suppose Emmy's got more in common with Quarks than I ever realized. Moves around fast, impossible to understand through direct observation, yet she has an effect on everyone she encounters. I wonder if Mrs. Ibarazaki...
I swear, is he gonna get her a card that one voice says you're quirky? But I like that. It's like such a science nerd card.
I'm writing that down, Rhino.
You're quirky, but I like that. It's
If,
like, don't you be quirky? No.
I wonder if Mrs. Ibarazaki will figure out that I know about the nightmares, or is she just keeping everything secret from everybody?
Yeah, it's not been as bad this year as in the past. He's now helped me stay focused.
Okay, I know that's not true. She even cut off contact outside of school hours during exam week. But she did see me during the day. She told me more than once that the morning run was the only thing she looked forward to during exams, so maybe it's not that much of a lie.
Hey, he's remembering the positives.
Either way, to hear that being around has helped even a little makes me feel a bit better. Emmy's mother raises an eyebrow at this statement. Either she doesn't believe Emmy, or she's as surprised as I am. Well, then it
By the way,
appears-
I do not fucking understand her mom's outfit.
Well, then it appears that it's a good thing you two have become so close. I tell you to take good care of my daughter, Hisao, but it looks like you're already doing that.
Woo!
Emmy grins at this and seems to take pride in my having managed to ingratiate myself with her mother so easily. Actually, I'd say your daughter's the one that's been taking care of me. She's gotten me out and running. I've probably been more active since meeting her than I ever was, even before. I'd actually never thought of it that much, nor had I ever appreciated the humor in it. I wasn't too active before the heart attack. Pickup games of soccer don't really count since they weren't that common. Now that I know for sure that I have a weak heart, now I run every day, pushing my luck with the help of my medication. I chuckled quietly and realized that I never finished my sentence. Well, before I had my heart attack and wound up at school here. It comes out so casually. There was a time that I would have thought twice about talking about what was wrong with me at all. But now it just seems silly to care, especially in the company of Emmy and her mother. If Emmy can be cavalier about her disability, then so can I. I think back to the track meet, where Emmy declared herself the fastest thing on no legs. The fact of her obvious loss has never seemed to bother her, at least not in public. Being stuck in the wheelchair frustrated her, I know. But even that was something she dealt with on her own, despite my efforts to the contrary. Emmy has a way of bringing out the more active side in people. I've never quite figured out how she does it. Those puppy dog eyes she gets, for starters. I'm not surprised that she managed to rope you into an exercise routine. If Rin weren't just as stubborn as she is, I'm sure that Emmy would have gotten her out and running with you too.
Oh, that reminds me. Rin says hello.
Sorry, the change took me off guard. Also, I'm imagining Rin said a lot more than just hello, but it's Rin.
Yeah, Rin doesn't say too much at most times.
You get her going and she goes on, though. I drift to the outer edges of the conversation again as we move into the dining room to eat.
Woo!
It smells delicious in here, and the spread that Emmy's mom has prepared or has produced is impressive.
I call it butter. Look, it spreads on this bread real easy.
There's butter on this bread, sweet.
Whoa, you made enough to feed an army in here.
Is it too much? Well, you can always take some leftovers with you when you go. That sounds great. I can only handle cafeteria food for so long. Something home cooked would be a welcome change of pace.
What he said. Thanks, Mom.
The food tastes as good as it smells, and there's a lull in the conversation while we all dig in. Emmy assaults her plate with the usual amount of gusto, and I will admit that I set a pretty fast pace myself.
Num 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 num.
So, Hisao, I hear that you and my daughter have gotten rather close, The urge to say something like, not really, is so strong that I open my mouth to say it, but then reassert control.
You and me pulling the not really back in with chains hooked to it.
You shut the fuck up! Actually, don't shut the fuck up, but don't say that! We are close, and there's no getting around it. I mean, Emmy's brought me here, hasn't she? Fortunately, both Emmy and her mother seem to take my reaction as a sign that I'm caught off guard rather than considering saying something cruel. Suppose we have. I blame the morning runs myself.
You make it sound like a bad thing, Isao.
Well, I for one found it a relief. Why's that? Emmy's always been a popular girl, but never made many close friends. This is a bit of news to me. I've always seen Emmy chatting with her classmates in the hallways.
Have a good summer, Emmy. Who are you?
And certainly the whole track team seems to love her, but it is true that she chooses to isolate herself during lunch with Rin and me. Not exactly the sort of behavior one expects from a popular girl, after all. Then again, I've experienced her unwillingness to get close firsthand, so I can't say I'm that surprised. I was beginning to have my doubts. Emmy rolls her eyes to the ceiling and grumbles something I can't quite make out. Huh?
What?
What's that you just said?
Nothing.
Mrs. Ibarazaki chokes on her drink with laughter. You've been hanging out with the nurse for too long, Emmy. I'm going to have to talk to him about corrupting my daughter. Somehow I don't think that would be very effective.
I learned most of it from you anyway, not the nurse.
Hey, there's the face.
What?
Don't listen to her, Hisao. She's a born liar.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I don't know, Emmy. I think your mother has a point.
What? You traitor! You're supposed to take my side in this.
Yeah, but you did lie about your leg after the Ow! A kick in the shins from an unmistakably plastic foot cuts me off, but not before Mrs. Ibarazaki's eyebrows shoot upwards. What's about your leg?
Wasn't a big deal, that's all. I was just, what's your friend?
The last few mumbled words are quickly deciphered by Emmy's mother. I suspect she has experience with this sort of thing, and a worried frown appears on her face. So that's why he kept dodging my calls. Oh, Emmy, I know how much you hate being in a wheelchair. No wonder you've been in such a mood lately. Yeah, she's much happier on her feet, so to speak. Well, of course. She spent enough time in a chair just after the accident. She didn't get prosthetics immediately? No, she had to finish healing up before they'd let her start the sort of therapy you've got to go through to adjust to those things. Especially since she wanted to run on them. I had no idea.
Yeah, it sucked. Oh, did you see Rin's mural at the festival?
Emmy's sudden change of topic makes me realize belatedly that she's been fidgeting the whole time her mother and I have been talking. I noticed her eyes kept going back and forth. I should have figured.
I appreciate them doing little things with the poses.
Flashes back to Emmy going, "Whew!"
Still the best moment.
I should have figured on her being a little skittish when it comes to talking about the accident, even around her mother. No, I didn't make it out to the festival, remember? Although I caught a glimpse of it at your track meet, it seemed pretty weird to me.
I think that's more or less what she was going for. She talked a lot about it being dreamlike. We're trying to make it dreamlike.
Okay, I need to bring this up real quick. I've been seeing these YouTube videos recently about, like, well, I've been watching YouTube videos in general, and I saw this one that was like steamed hams, but the visuals were done by an AI, and it literally looks exactly like how my dreams look, with the way things like just kind of fade into one another, or like people are standing there looking normal, and then they start walking and they suddenly mutate, like things like that.
The fact that you have that much detail in your dreams is surprising to me.
I wish I didn't. I'll tell you that. I hate my fucking dreams.
Same.
Rin's art is one of those things I don't think I'll ever understand.
That's not surprising. I don't think Rin expects to be understood. She told me once that art allows people to understand stuff they wouldn't understand otherwise, but all the same, she doesn't think it actually works that way.
I'm surprised that Emmy's talked about this with Rin extensively enough to actually have Rin's opinion, such as it is. Although I expect that Rin could not, if she were so inclined, say the same thing about Emmy's. Unless, of course, Emmy is purposely keeping me in the dark about everything, which is likely, but unpleasant to think about. I drift down this unpleasant train of thought for a while, losing track of the conversation. Hey, Emmy, I've been meaning to ask.
Huh?
Are you going to visit your father this year? From the way she says it, you'd think Emmy's mother was talking about the weather. From the way Emmy reacts, it's clearly not the weather they're talking about. She flinches, a slight jerk of the head backwards as if she's just been slapped in the face.
Can we talk about this later?
Her voice sounds brittle, strained. It looks as if she's been severely shaken by the question. It seems that Mrs. Ibarazaki misjudged just how close Emmy and I are. Some things, it seemed, are best not conversed about with me around. Her father is one of those things. The accident that took her legs is probably another one of those things, if her reaction...
We're the same things, you dumbass.
If her reaction to the earlier conversation between her mother and myself is any indication. It doesn't take Emmy's mother long to realize she's screwed up. Of course we can, dear. I'm sorry to bring it up. I just wanted to ask so I could make plans.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Emmy fidgets nervously, as if embarrassed by her own reaction. I confess that her reaction is confusing. She only just mentioned her father to me earlier today. Less than a few hours ago, even.
Dumb ass.
Why does a simple question about when she'll visit her father cause such a strong reaction? He really
I
doesn't
think he
get
literally just forgot.
He really... No, I think he really just heard her father's not around anymore. And he didn't make the obvious conclusion. Because it has never been directly 100% stated to him that her father died. But holy shit, it's obvious. Unless whatever serenity she claimed to have reached by means of our talk the previous evening has suddenly evaporated. Or it didn't help as much as she thought, or claimed.
I think it's the former. I'll be right back. Gonna visit the little girl's room.
And he gets up suddenly and leaves the table, leaving me and Mrs. Barazaki alone. I'm a little conflicted. Should I go after her, or should I stay here? It's obvious that Emmy's departure was not based on the call of nature. Something's bothering her, and I have to know what it is. How to go about it.
Okay.
Here it is.
I think you should talk to the mom. Because Emmy is in a very volatile state right now. So
Yeah.
she went to go distance herself to kind of settle herself. This is not the time to go poking.
Also,
If we want to see the multiple endings, this is where we save.
I think we just go for good.
We're just gonna go for good ending, and if we get the bad ending, we'll go. Or rather, if we get the bad ending and then back to good ending, we'll come back and do this. But I also think talk to her mom. I feel like if we go after, the first thing I think of is if we go after her, she's gonna feel cornered.
Yeah.
Physically speaking, and she invited us here. Even if we were to assume that she's trying to be serious about not letting us close, the fact she invited us here shows that subconsciously she does trust us. And if we were to go after her, tell us now, that definitely makes it seem like we're reaching too far. We're pushing the trust too much.
Yeah, I think she, much like you, going to run earlier instead of letting the inner thoughts out, she's going to go calm herself down. And second of all, I think maybe she might be reevaluating what she said after she realized that she slept a lot better after having a small talk.
I don't know about that. That was just in our head.
But we'll see.
Yeah, talk to the mom. Do not tell us whether or not that's the correct answer. I want to be surprised. There's an awkward silence at the table for a while after Emmy dashes off. I can't think of anything to say. Emmy's mother sighs, breaking the silence. Sorry about that, Hisao. I sometimes forget that Emmy's touchy about certain subjects. And I was talking about the wheelchair thing, too. Should I go after her? Heavens no! She didn't leave the table to continue the conversation, you know.
Hooray, validation!
But if she's troubled, shouldn't someone help her? If it were anyone else, I'd say yes. But my daughter is stubborn as a mule, and if she wants to be alone, it's best to let her be alone. Otherwise, she'll probably say something she'd regret, she'll cause you to say something you'd regret, and I would prefer that dinner doesn't end with one or the both of you storming out of the house.
Alright, I think we picked right.
Yeah. If that were to happen, I'd be a terrible hostess, wouldn't I? I've already acted as a fool once today. That's okay. I shouldn't have brought up the wheelchair, apparently. Mrs. Ibarazaki frowns, clearly more bothered by Emmy's omission than she'd let on. I wish she wouldn't do that. It just makes me worry more, you know. She does this often? What, running off to the bathroom? No, I can't say she does. Keep injuries from her mother, though? Well, that's a little more common. Every time I catch her lying like that, she assures me that the only reason she didn't tell me is because it wasn't a big deal. If it's any consolation, I'm sure the only reason I knew about it at all was because I saw her every day. This elicits a dry chuckle from across the table. Mrs. Ibarazaki sighs a little sadly.
Boarding school.
Still hesitant about getting close to people, huh? I keep hoping that she'll get over that. It's funny, really. She's bounced back so well from the accident in so many ways. I guess some things never really go away. From the looks of it, the whole thing still bothers her, too. She seems to be a little more willing to talk about the accident without Emmy around, though. Hey, I've got a question, if it's alright. Oh? What else did Emmy lose in that accident? The nurse said that she gets this way near the anniversary. She won't talk about it to me. So you thought I'd fill you in, yeah, hopefully.
No.
Well, there's a problem with that request, you see. Let me guess. You promised Emmy that you wouldn't tell anyone she didn't want to know, and you don't know if she wants me to know. Something like that. I promised Emmy that she'd be the one to tell people the full story. But isn't that important? I mean, it's clearly had a huge effect on her if she's still like this so long after the accident happened. That's true. It did have a long-lasting effect on her. There are a few things that she'll probably never really get over. For a moment, Mrs. Ibarazaki looks incredibly saddened, as if an old wound is bothering her. I suppose there are a few things I'll never really get over either. Another dry chuckle, and with a shake of her head, Hemi's mother banishes the memory. Look, there's something you absolutely must understand about the way Emmy thinks about the accident. What's that? It wasn't a big deal. Somehow, I managed to keep my mouth from falling open in surprise, but it takes some effort. That has to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I beg your pardon? Okay, maybe it's not that simple, but it's a pretty accurate summation. Emmy believes that the accident did not define her, and that everything she lost that day didn't define her either. The music is very ominous right now. She's not that girl who lost her legs, she's the fastest thing on no legs. Her optimism and energy came out of that wreck without a scratch as far as she's concerned. Yet it goes beyond that, doesn't it? I mean, last night she told me that she refused to rely on me because it would make losing me too painful. Not really. You said she won't tell you about the accident, even though you've asked her about it before. The reason she won't talk about it when you ask her is because to her, it's not something you absolutely need to know. Even if she wasn't terrified of getting too close to anyone, she still wouldn't talk about it. She's afraid of being close to me? Oh, goodness me, yes. For all that talk about being unscathed by the accident, she's gained the ugly knowledge of how quickly it can all be over. So she's not going to let people get especially close to her, and she certainly would resent any implication that she cannot work through this on her own. But I don't think she can. Oh no? Are you sure you've been dating my daughter and not somebody else? Trust me, Hisao, she could get through it on her own. But she has nightmares and can't sleep well, and she does this every year. Tell me, if she wasn't able to get through it on her own, do you really think she'd still be alive? She would have killed herself or something equally melodramatic. So what, I shouldn't try to help her? I didn't say that. I hate seeing my daughter like this, and knowing that she could rely on someone else would let me relax. You just need to understand that accepting help goes against everything Emmy thinks about herself and the way the world works. If you still want to offer her help, then I guess that's your call. Honestly, I'd like you to, but it'd be silly not to warn you that it's not going to be easy. You just need to be patient with her. She's already closer to you than anyone else she's ever met at Yamako.
So, brief pause. I think, in this situation, then, the right way to go about it, at least that might work for Emmy, is to, tell her that you think she's strong enough to do it on her own, but tell her she doesn't have to, and if you want, you could help make it easier.
That might be it, yeah. Well, it sure doesn't feel like we're very close.
That is not the face I expected upon the return.
That is also not the phrase I wanted to hear.
Good, that makes this part easier.
Emmy's voice nearly gives me a heart attack. Whoa! Didn't hear you come back, Emmy.
How convenient.
Wait, were you eavesdropping?
Nope, just happened to come back at the right moment, I guess.
Emmy, Hisao was just... Emmy holds up a finger, cutting her mother off.
Uh, okay, the words and the face are conflicting.
Yeah!
What is happening right now? On his way out of the house? Yeah, I know.
Emmy's trembling with anger now, looking vaguely betrayed.
What the fuck?
Emmy, don't be ridiculous. We were just...
You promised.
The pain carried in that last word is almost too much for me to bear. The idea that I could hurt her that much is like being kicked in the gut. Emmy's mother looked similarly pained by the thought. And I kept that promise. Just listen, there's no reason to go throwing people out of the house. Emmy's mother seems to be both angry at her daughter's outburst and embarrassed that I'm a witness to it. There's only one real solution to this problem, I think. It's okay, I'll go. Now really, that seems a little unnecessary. Don't worry about it. Thank you for dinner, Mrs. Ibarazaki, and for the advice. It was my pleasure, Hisao. I'm sorry we didn't get to the dessert. That's okay. I have to watch what I eat anyway. Good evening, Emmy, Mrs. Ibarazaki. The formality of our conversation, coupled with the fact that I'm getting ready to leave, seems to snap Emmy out of her anger.
No, wait, whoo! Whoo! It got tense there for a bit. Whoo! No, wait, I'm sorry. I've been so... After last night, I just thought... You don't have to go. I take it back. It's okay.
I can't help but smile slightly. She could barely articulate her apology, and I really would like to say. But I don't think I can right now. I need to think about what her mother said, and about what I'm going to do about us. I don't want to risk accidentally getting angry again in her current state, either.
Emmy angry.
No, I think I'd better leave. You seem pretty shook up, and, well, I'd only wind up trying to help you again. I know you'd prefer I didn't, so I'm going to leave instead.
But...
Hey, it's not a problem. You don't want a knight on a white charger, right? Just promise me one thing, okay?
What?
Don't be angry at your mom, okay? She was just giving me some advice, that's all. Emmy nods, hesitantly, like this simple idea is all that she can grab onto at this point. She's so terribly off balance, I can't do anything about that right now.
Okay.
See you tomorrow, okay? Running in the morning. Don't forget. I can see that I've hurt Emmy by deciding to leave. There's nothing I can do for her as things stand, and I know that she's too stubborn to admit that she wants me to stick around. I watch various emotions cross Emmy's face as she tries to process everything that's just happened. Shortly comes that calm look again, like last night, and that voice that tries so hard to sound careless.
Sure, Hisao. See you around.
Both of us are unwilling to concede emotion at this point, and I'm having a hard time keeping up my facade, so I turn on my heel and walk out the door. I shut it behind me slowly, pausing for a moment as the latch catches, my hand on the doorknob. Did I make the right decision just now? Should I have stayed and tried to work things out? No, I decide. Not in front of her mother like that. In spite of everything, I'd rather keep Emmy's mother insulated from the sort of anger that surfaced last night. Even though she's probably used to it, some protective instinct wants me to keep Emmy's image as a cheerful girl intact. With a start, I realize my hand is still resting on the knob. I take my hand away, put it in my pocket, and head down the slowly darkening street. Well, on the bright side...
I think we're okay. I think we're alright.
You guys did make the good choice.
Yeah, I thought so. I don't think she was not mad at us. She was Mad at her mother for letting it slip out. She
technically didn't. She thought she did.
No, but she thought she did. And she was telling us to leave not because she was mad at us, but because she was like, I don't want you to hear anymore.
Yeah. But I think we're okay. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's a rough patch for them, but I think it's one like you got some information and they're kind of having to think about your approach, and Emmy's got to think about what she heard, about what she said made you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you had chosen the other thing, then she would have gotten mad at you and kicked you out.
Yeah, like her mom said. She was like, boy, if you would have chosen another option, shit would have gone down.
Yeah.
And then there's
I
another
was like,
choice
well,
you can
thanks, game.
make- and then there's another choice you can make later on that route, whether it just ends horribly and the game ends with you two never speaking again, or there's more after that.
Yeah, I do know that the choice that happens later on is, you know what? I'm actually gonna throw a quiz at Rhino here. Rhino, what happens later on is a character is like asks if you want advice on how to deal with this, and the correct answer is to say yes, give me the advice. What character do you think it is?
Rin.
No.
Really?
I'll give
Rin.
if there's not many characters, I'll give you one more guess.
Turns out Rin is actually really unimportant in this route.
She's just a friend who's around.
I'll give you one more guess.
okay.
It's not a lot of characters.
Pinky?
What?
The Pinky
How did you
one.
get that right?
Oh, Misha. Yeah, it is Misha.
Ha
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
just Misha sees that you're down, and you can either not talk to her or get advice from her. And if you don't talk to her, then you approach Emmy on the field. The two of you have a big blowout, and you decide you're not going to stop speaking again.
But if you do talk to her, you get some advice and you go kind of patch things up with Emmy and get a good ending, but you don't get Act 4. It just ends at the end of Act 3. I assume Act 4 is not going to be particularly long. Because
I'm assuming it's like a scene or two.
yeah, probably. It's probably just an extended ending, but
So, on the Emmy route, the good choices are take everyone's advice.
Yay!
turns out that people are smart.
Or at least it turns out when you have no ideas of your own, get some input.
Although the other choices we made before talking to Mako don't really matter, but
Yeah, I do
You
have
know.
the thing open, and I'm actually, at this point, I'm curious. I'm gonna glance at this real quick. So, the vast majority of choices in Emmy's route do not matter.
Oh, is that not the same in other routes? Or other routes like a point
I don't
system?
know if it's like that in other routes. I haven't looked at the other routes, but
people often call Emmy's route easy mode because it's super easy to just get locked into early on.
also
and then
she's
most of
pretty
the choices-
easy. Also, she's pretty easy. You've had sex 3 times now.
And also the choices in the route don't really matter except for the one at the end.
Yeah,
This
like
honestly does make me curious about other routes.
I'm looking at this, and basically in Act 1, and Act 1 is like just we only make choices to put us on her route. At first they don't matter. We have to choose to like read instead of like necessarily pursuing Hanako. We have to choose to take Lily's side instead of Shizune's in that one argument. And obviously we have to choose to keep running harder when we're on the track. After that, none of the choices matter except for talk to mom. And then then it says if you choose the other one, choose to talk to Misha.
If you want to
Wait,
get
so we just conveniently chose the exact ones to get on Emmy's route?
Yes.
Wow.
I imagine there's probably some that there's probably some leniency, like for example, if we were to talk to Hanako but then make a choice later on that takes us off of Hanako's route, it would probably be like, all right, well, you still have a chance for Emmy. But yeah.
For Rin, it's like turn down everyone else. Then when you get a choice to join the art club, say yes.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably gonna be using a guide for any of the routes I don't care about. I'm gonna take a look at Shizune's route and see how. I'm not gonna say what the choices are. I'm gonna see how similar it is to Emmy's.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about doing one of the other routes though, just to see how different it is.
Yeah, from what I've seen, Shizune's route also doesn't have a lot of choice except for the big one at the end that puts you in the good or bad ending.
There's not a lot of choices, but a larger percentage of them are like you have to answer correctly. There's throughout the entire time there's only let's see. Okay, there are 10 choices throughout Shizune's route. Only 3 of them are your choice. Though the others are just to get on her route in the first place.
I was thinking more like Hanako, or like, because that was
not
like
actually-
be the segment I'm interested in, and Rin just seems like it'd be a hoot.
I'm not sure how we get on Hanako's route, considering she avoids us during the beginning.
Basically, introduce yourself to her when you're in the library. So basically, try to be friendly with her.
Fair enough. I'd want to do Rin's route just because it'd be funny.
Yeah, I think Rin's would be funny. Hanako is one I'm curious about the differences.
Yeah, I think we're definitely gonna do Rin's route at some point. I'm making sure not to look at it. Though I will note that everyone else on this has like their good and neutral endings are like combined into one thing, and then just like at the end it'll say something like if you choose this it's good, if you choose this it's neutral, and then they have the bad ending be an entirely separate thing. Rin's has all 3 of them combined, so I think it is good. So I think Rin's is literally just the very final choice.
Interesting. It's also curious how long these bad endings go then. Like they fucking rake you over it.
Well, to be fair, I think the bad ending just ends at Act 3. I don't think it is what we thought before, where Act 4 is the bad ending. I think it's just. Also, I think the reason the bad endings are in separate things earlier, for the other ones, is because like there are choices earlier in the route that can affect it or lock you onto it.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway.
So breathing.
Hang on. Just looking at one thing real quick. Okay, Lily's route seems to have the most choices. And it does actually have things where, like, it matters what you choose, besides just getting onto the route with her.
Admittedly, I'm slightly concerned because we misjudged that Lily choice the first time.
You do have to choose to give Lily a break on that one. Yeah, there's a choice in Act 2 that matters, and then there's a choice in Act 3 that matters that is not the final choice. Oh! Also, Lily does not have a bad ending. She just has a good ending and a neutral ending.
I don't care.
Anyway. I let out a long breath. The wait until tomorrow morning comes isn't going to be easy. In any case, I have to think on what to say to Emmy. I must apologize, and I must get through to her somehow. On that account, something has been on my mind for most of the way back to my room. The letter of apology from Iwanako. Hey!
Jeez, I thought this wasn't going to come up.
I was so
You
concerned
seem to
about
just freaking ignore it.
I was so concerned about my new life when I received it that I didn't even bother to really read it. Now that I find myself in a similar position, my curiosity got rekindled. What did she want to let me know so badly?
I think this is one of the few ways you can read the entirety of the letter.
If nothing else, reading her thoughts might help me frame mine. I remember tossing it away. Damn, where did I throw that thing?
It's under your nightstand.
I check under my desk. That turns up nothing, so I look for harder to reach, more unlikely locations. Well, now I know where that lost sock went, at least. Still no letter, though. It's when I try sweeping my arm under my nightstand that I feel something crinkly jam between it and the wall. How did you remember that?
Because I thought it was going to be the Chekhov's gun.
Yeah. He's lucky he threw it somewhere where he couldn't reach, otherwise he would have just thrown it in the trash.
Yeah, I literally thought Emmy was going to come to your room at some point, discover that letter, and there was going to be a stupid misunderstanding.
Thank God it's not that. Grunting a little with the effort, I reach for my prize and soon manage to bring it into the light. Bingo.
Ah, there's a spider on it.
Then, I sit at my desk and spread the crumpled paper open. A flick turns on the table light.
I
Skipping
heard of
past...
clap lights, but flick lights.
I actually remember seeing, like, Well, I think in Night of the Museum, the main character is like, I'm an inventor. I invented the snap light. What? It's like the clap light, but you snap. But clapping's easier. Skipping past the empty pleasantries, I look for the point where I stopped reading. Here it is.
The middle.
There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt that there are things I should have said after the incident back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it.
You kind of smelled.
The truth is, the times when I visited you at the hospital made me worried about you. I'm not talking about your health. You seemed to become more distant and disheartened. It was natural after something like that happened, I'm sure. But somehow I got the feeling that you had given up on something back then. Happiness, maybe? Giving up on happiness. This sounds unpleasantly familiar. I wanted to somehow express my feelings, but the right words didn't come to me. I couldn't say anything to comfort you. I'm really sorry for not being able to support you when it mattered the most, even though I like you so much. At least now, finally, I can be more honest. If I could go back to those quiet days in February and March, I'd tell you not to give up on yourself. That's what I would say. Maybe you wouldn't have drifted so far away if I had just said something. I hope you've managed to get back on your feet on your own. Now that the distance between us is also physical, it also feels more final somehow. I wonder if we will meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't. Still, if you would like to correspond with me, by all means write me back. I'd very much like to hear about your new school and how you are doing. I wish you all the best. Sincerely, Iwanako. After finishing reading the letter, I smoothed it out carefully and set it aside on my desk. Thank you, Iwanako. I wanted to answer yes to your question on that snowy winter day, but I never got to. By the time we met again, it was too late. So I thought. What would have happened if I had behaved differently, back at that dismally sterile hospital? I'm sorry. There's no point in wondering now. There's no point in trying to forget either. I am who I am because of all that happened to me. All I look forward to experience. Present, future, and past. And the past may just have taught me an important lesson now.
Oh, Act 4?
Act 4? Act 4? Hey, I think so! She run. Act 4, motion.
But imagine being this fucking guy. A girl asks you out and then visits you a bunch in the hospital, and then you still ignore her months after.
Yeah. This definitely does have the feeling of, like, it's...
I mean, he had his world shaken. He had other shit to worry about.
Yeah, but still. Like, you don't even talk to her?
I mean, he was barely talking to anyone in that hospital.
Yeah, I just got a message.
I mean, the doctor came in, he was like, nah. The parents came in, he was like, nah.
Sound of my alarm is an unwelcome intrusion on a sleep that's been a battle to obtain. I doubt I've been truly asleep for more than an hour or two. Too much on my mind. Did I make the right choice leaving the house yesterday? Did I manage to get Emmy to realize how unreasonable she's been?
Maybe.
Am I ever going to manage to get her to stop being unreasonable? Emmy's mom gave me a new perspective of the other day, but I'm still not sure that it's the right perspective. She was hurt when I left yesterday, too. I know that part of any conversation is going to have to include an apology about that. Right thing to do or not, I hurt her. I hurried down to the track. We did. Like, right thing to... Again, yeah, like you said, right thing to do or not, it did hurt her. We can't just be like, hey, you deserved it.
Well, no, I was just gonna say don't mention it ever.
I think it needs to be mentioned. Because, like, otherwise, how are you going to bring up what happened immediately beforehand?
I guess that's fair. Can we do a brief pause here? I need to take the puffers out.
All right. Very small break. I will pause the VOD recording.
Yeah.
So, before we continue real quick, something that I am worried about when we eventually do the Rin route. And this is something that happens with a lot of dating sims. It's like we've gone through the Emmy route, and it's like we're seeing the problem she's having. I'm not going to be able to stop thinking as we do other routes, or if we do other routes. I'm not going to be able to stop thinking that she's still going through that in the background, and we're not helping her.
Yeah, I get that.
Alternate universe. Only one girl is a problem at a time.
That works. But also think of it this way, like Emmy's mama said, she's gotten through this before. It's just a rough time of year.
Yeah, but, like, here's the thing. Like, at the very least, while this is going on, Emmy is going to be forcing herself to keep running more. She's probably going to end up getting that infection or injury or whatever again. And she's not going to talk to the nurse.
No. See, she'll have a friend called a Meow, and
Right.
he'll be helping her through all that.
I know.
What?
And it's also going to be like, as we're doing Rin's route and we see whatever problem she has, I'm going to be like, so this was going on during Emmy's route.
I was about to say, you do realize while you're doing Emmy's route that all the other routes still technically exist in some
Yeah,
form.
but I don't know what's going on in them, so it's easier to not think about them.
Yeah, see, those are the jobs of Rizao, Tizao, and Mizao.
Is there not a fifth one for Shizune?
Sneezao.
Sneezao evolves into Weezao. Or Weavao. Alright. I hurry down to the track, eager to talk to Emmy. I think I know what to say. Apologize for leaving first, and go ahead from there. Unless, of course, Emmy doesn't show up. Which, from the looks of things, seems like it's the case. It's been about 15 minutes since I got here, and there's no sign of her. She's never late. Not unless she's sick, which is unlikely. She probably just doesn't want to see me right now.
Looks at phone. Dear Isao, I'm sick. Oh.
Take my mind off what that implies, begin my warm-up routine, and take off around the track. It clears my mind wonderfully. For the half hour I'm running, I don't think about anything but the run. However, once I've finished and Emmy still hasn't shown up, I get a little worried. With any luck, the nurse will know where she is. If nothing else, I could see what he thinks I should do next.
To quote the Greek Kazoo, go talk to her, dum-dum.
Hey, here's the nurse.
Nurse Tim.
So, last night didn't go too well, I take it.
Huh? You already know?
I have my ways. It's not as if I'd miss the distinct absence of your running partner this morning, now would I?
No, I suppose not.
So, what happened?
Don't you know already?
Maybe, but I could be bluffing. Perhaps I'd prefer to get your side of the story before I give my advice.
I quickly fill the nurse in on the events of last night, and he takes it all in without changing expression once.
Or opening his right eye.
Nothing. It's really weird. He keeps that eye closed the entire time. It's very odd. Nothing about the whole event seems to surprise him, although he does seem surprised when I say that I didn't follow him.
Chose to talk to her mom instead, huh? Smart move. Though I guess it didn't work out too well for you in the end.
I like how everybody's telling us you did the correct thing. Well, I'm not sure. Emmy seemed apologetic when I left, or at least she seemed that way until she put up her defenses again. The nurse sighs and spreads his hands in a conciliatory gesture.
Frankly, I'm surprised she let them down at all. Emmy's had a lot of practice on that score. You probably won't get anything else out of her.
I don't believe you.
Is that so? You think she'll tell you the whole tale?
I'd swear I just saw the nurse's eyes glitter a little. His expression is the same, but he leans forward ever so slightly. I think she'll open up if I ask her without being an idiot about it, yeah. The nurse gives his enigmatic smile in response and shrugs widely. I think he's enjoying his role a little too much.
That's the real trick, isn't it? Are you sure you know the right way to approach the subject? I can guarantee that Emmy's going to try her hardest to pretend last night didn't happen. It'll be painfully awkward for the both of you, but it'll also be a lot safer than trying to ask her for the whole story again. It could go worse this time.
Guys, I think I hear Emmy.
Are you ready for something like that?
It sounds like a challenge. Like he doesn't believe for a minute that I'd be so bold. I actually feel a little insulted by his lack of confidence in me. Of course I'm ready for that. I love her.
Oh,
My outburst gets a raised eyebrow in response.
well then. Good luck. Let me know how it all turns out.
I was about to say you'll know when she shows up tomorrow limping, and then I was like, wait. Although he delivers his parting shot with the same smirk as usual, I actually think that the nurse wants me to succeed. I resist the urge to charge directly to Emmy's room to prove the nurse wrong. I've gone in half-cocked before. Half, and the results were less than stellar. If I'm going to do this, I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it. Something to think about in class. Sure enough, by the time lunch rolls around, I think I have a good enough idea of what to say. I can do this. The bell rings, and I grab my lunch and dash up the stairs, eager to be there first. I'll need to ask Rin to leave, and I'll need to... Right.
Well,
I did the whole line while being muted.
good job.
Hi, Hisao. Sorry I wasn't able to run with you this morning. I overslept.
Somehow, both Emmy and Rin have managed to get to the roof before me. Oh, that's no problem. Last night was kind of draining, I guess. Emmy's expression doesn't alter in the slightest.
Yeah, sorry about that. But I've had such a weird morning since then.
Oh, really? Emmy proceeds to make small talk for the rest of the time. I can barely get a word in edgewise, and soon myself interjecting with the sort of back-and-forth dialogue that seems to have defined our early relationship. I'm not going to get anywhere on this problem during lunch, obviously. I can respect that. Emmy obviously doesn't want to accidentally pull Rin into things, and that's fine. Not that I think Rin would notice, but I can at least respect that sort of rationale. I try a different tactic. Hey, Emmy, what are you up to after class today? I was thinking we could go somewhere for dinner or something. Emmy looks genuinely remorseful.
Sorry, Hisao. I promised the track captain that I stick around after practice and help some of the other kids with their form. It'll have to be some other time.
Oh, she's trying to avoid us now.
Yeah, sure. I'm honestly not sure what to do now. Maybe diving into things the day after would be a bad idea anyway. She might still be angry about it and just not showing it. Besides, if she's got track team responsibilities, that's fine, right? I tell myself some variation on this theme the next day. Then the next. I wake up, run with Emmy, during which she refuses to talk about anything but the run and what she was doing the night before. And then lunch, where we sit and make small talk until the bell rings. Her new responsibilities effectively keep me from seeing her outside of school. Maybe, just maybe, I'm letting it happen because it's safer this way, just like the nurse said. Except while it may be safer, I'm feeling more and more wretched. Emmy doesn't look good when I see her anymore. Dark circles lurk under her eyes. She seems more and more distracted. I can't bring myself to just ask what's wrong, because the timing never seems right. I'm absolutely miserable. Well, that was great!
Son of a bitch.
Fucking talk to her!
She won't talk to us.
She's not exactly helping. She knows
She-
what she's doing.
She avoided the track in the morning, and then she made an appointment for after school so that she didn't have to come see us.
Another lunch comes. I trudge up the stairs to the rooftop like a condemned man.
And the one place we can talk to her, Rin's there.
I am Rin. I am there.
Rin is up there, but Emmy is not. Immediately, I worry that something's happened to her. Maybe the lack of sleep finally made her collapse, or something worse. She seemed pretty tired after our morning run. Maybe she fell asleep and didn't even make it to class.
Waiting for Rin to say she ran out of excuses.
Hey Rin, where's Emmy? In response, I get a rather penetrating look from Rin, and something approaching a frown appears on her face.
Is that information really important?
I think so. She's usually here with you, isn't she?
I don't know. I have no way of being sure.
I can confirm that she is, in fact, usually here with you when I come up.
Well, she isn't now. Does that worry you?
What's
Kind
with
of.
Rin?
I
What did
honestly,
we do?
I honestly can't tell if this is just Rin being Rin or if there is something behind this.
Yeah, is Rin like pissed at us for not doing anything?
It might. Maybe she's also worried about Emmy and blames us. Kind of.
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh, well, never mind.
that seems to end the conversation, and the point becomes moot anyway because Emmy bounced through the door with her usual energy.
Hisao is kind of worried about you, Emmy. I don't think he can decide, or maybe I just don't believe him. But I think I'm going to go somewhere less awkward now.
Oh shit, Wingman Rin.
I think Rin's picking up that she needs to not be there for a moment.
Ha!
I
They
think
think-
it went on so long and got so awkward that even it got through to Rin, who's just like, nope.
Rin just wanted to show off the fact that she doesn't have to open doors. She can just teleport.
Haha. I don't have to open doors. I can wait for Emmy to get here, and then I can just catch the door with my foot.
Sometimes I use my mouth just to shake things up. I have bad teeth. I'm so surprised by Rin's being so subtly forward about, well, anything at all that I nearly watch her head through the door. I thought
Reminds me of that Japanese game show where they had to find the object in the room that was made of chocolate. It was the door handle.
that reminds me of not reminds me. When I see that just makes me think of like I interpret it as I merely watch her head through the door, not the rest of her body, just her head. Emmy is similarly surprised and colors slightly crimson as she stares open-mouthed at me. It occurs to me that I should probably say something, if only to break the awkward silence that has suddenly descended. It's because you weren't here yet, I was worried about it.
Why?
You're usually here, so I was worried that something had happened to you.
This isn't the first time I've been late, you know? Do you get worried all the other times, too?
Not really. Emmy seems slightly amused by this. I don't know why, but that kind of pisses me off.
I feel like we're being unintentionally gaslit now.
So why was this time an exception?
Maybe it's the light, teasing tone of the question, but something in her response pushes me to be honest.
Oh, no.
So I can't help snapping at her when I say it.
The inside thoughts are escaping.
Because you've been worrying me since dinner at your house, that's why. Well, now it's out in the open. And Emmy's eyes are wide, and she looks like she wants to bolt, but she doesn't.
Ah, still on that, I see.
What, you think I'm supposed to just forget about it? You threw me out of your house! We've been going on for almost a week pretending it never happened!
I didn't see you bringing it up either, you know.
I know, and I'm sorry that was the case. We have to address it, or we'll just keep up this whatever it is we've got right now. It's killing me to look at how you look right now. Did you know that? Those circles under your eyes, that distracted look in them? I can't help worrying that I've caused it somehow.
You haven't, trust me.
Well, I haven't helped either. I keep pushing you to tell me things you aren't ready to tell me. Maybe I was wrong to try getting your mother to help me out. But I've been so worried about you that I didn't know what else to do.
You don't have to worry about me anymore, okay? I think it's pretty clear we're not right for each other, so maybe we should just stop.
Her face is twisted up as she says this, like she doesn't want to say it, but forces herself to anyway. You don't actually want that, do you? Heck, you could barely bring yourself to say it. Anyway, it won't keep me from worrying about you. I care too much about you to just stop on command. You don't want to tell me what's wrong, that's fine, but I won't stop trying to help you, even if it's just standing by you.
Stop saying that.
She's shaking now, and as she looks at me, I can see she's afraid and frustrated and a million different things all at once. I shake my head slowly and take a few steps toward her. You know what your mom told me? She told me that you'd never ask for help, because you know that you're strong enough to get through anything on your own. That's not the full story, is it?
Hey, dude.
Her eyes go wide and she takes a step back. I keep going because I think I've finally figured it out. Something tells me I won't get another shot. I put it off for far too long as it is. There's no harm in having someone help you, unless you're worried about needing help in the first place. You're scared, aren't you? Because of... I trail on, because I don't know for certain what happened to Emmy's father, and I don't want to jump to a conclusion. Well, never mind why, but it's okay to be afraid. You've been running from it and from me for so long, even though you know eventually you have to turn around and face your fear. And I'm going to be there to help when you do. I won't stop, because I don't think you'd want me to. You can understand that sort of determination, can't you? I can see that I've gotten through to her, but she quickly falls back to anger to try and push me away again.
Back on your white charger, Esau? Gotta help the poor cripple face her emotion problems? What do you know about me? What I've already had to face? You think 2 months of learning to walk again was fun? But I did it. And after I did that, I had to...
For a moment, it seems as if she's going to say something else, but she cuts herself off. And after all that, you don't think you can get past your fear? Emmy, I can't fathom what you've been through. But to come through it and still be the sort of girl that you are, well, makes me think that you have even more strength than you think. So I'm not going to help you because I think you need rescuing. I don't want to be a knight rescuing the damsel in distress. But even knights helped each other out, you know. I want to help you, even though I know you could do it on your own. For a moment, it looks like Emmy's going to break down completely, but she doesn't. Tears run down her face, but she stares at me steadily.
Why are you trying so hard to help me?
I'd say that it's because I owe you one for helping me out when we first met. That wouldn't be the truth. The truth is, I just want you to be happy, because I love you. Had I ever said that before? We've been in a relationship, and it's been pretty obvious that I love her. But did I ever actually speak the words?
I thought he did.
He said it to the nurse.
No, I mean like before now. I guess not. What did you say?
I say it again, savoring the feeling of being able to say it at all. Being able to say it and mean it. Emmy seems stunned. I said I love you, Emmy. I love you. Just you. And that makes me want to stand by you, no matter what you have to face. I'm wrapped in a fierce hug then, as Emmy begins to sob against my chest.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about everything, but I'm so scared, Hisao. I'm so scared of losing you, and I love you too, but I can't lose you. I'm so sorry.
I hold her quietly, shushing her until she settles down. She steps back, a little more composed.
Will you come with me tomorrow? Back to my house? There are some things I need to show you if I'm going to do this.
Of course. Maybe this time we can leave together instead of separately. Emmy grins, a sudden flash of brightness that seems more genuine than anything I've seen in the past week.
Yeah, maybe.
The lunch bell rings, and I curse the universe's poor sense of time. Are you free tonight? We can talk more then, right? Emmy shakes her head.
Sorry, Hisao, but I'm still helping with the track team. Plus, I don't think it would be good if we taught this over tonight. I want to be too tired to think properly, and I want to be able to tell you everything without screwing it up. You can wait, right?
Even now, there's a bit of fear in her voice. I smile and rest a hand on her shoulder. Okay, I'll be waiting. Emmy gives me a quick kiss before she heads for the stairwell.
Thanks, Hisao. See you tomorrow morning.
Wouldn't miss it. I head down the stairs with the feel of her lips on mine, suddenly aware of how much I've missed the sensation. I'll have to remember to thank Rin for getting us to talk to one another.
Meanwhile, Rin in the stairwell. Fucking finally.
Although it's possible she won't even realize what she's done. Still, if not for her, I doubt I'd have ever been able to confront Emmy again. I guess I needed more help than I realized. Tomorrow, however, I'll need to stand alone through whatever Emmy's trying to work herself up to doing. I'll be up to the task, I hope. You did it. You did it. You did it. Finally. Holy fuck. You did it. You did it.
Took a week.
Also, I am glad that when Emmy was like, I didn't see you bringing it up either. Hisao did not go to like the instinctive response of because you wouldn't let me, because I think that would have steered things in a worse way. Sometimes,
Yeah, I'm glad he held back on that because that was my first thought too. I was like, weren't you directing all the conversations?
but sometimes you have to sometimes you have to let stuff like that drop. You have to even if you're in the right, or even if you believe you're in the right, you have to push that aside sometimes, because sometimes people don't need to be told that they're wrong.
I guess I use logic too much in my decision making because I would have been like, we kept scheduling things so that we couldn't talk.
To be fair, I don't think it's necessarily that she's scheduling things. It's entirely possible that it is actually just stuff that's happening, because this is I imagine there's another meet coming up, probably, considering the exams just ended. There's probably something coming up. Also, didn't she say she's helping the new people on the track team or something?
That's what
She
she
said just
said,
other
but
teammates.
that's what she said, but we don't know either way.
I don't know if she's telling the truth or not, but I feel like,
I mean, it is convenient for her that stuff came up right after we had an awkward conversation.
yeah, but I don't think she planned for that to be the case. Plus, also, she's not the track team captain, so it would have. It would.
Although this is just a story. This isn't how things actually happen.
Yeah. The morning.
While most of this has been well written, I wish they didn't play the dad is obviously dead card so early, because then it's like when it finally happens, I'm like, oh, finally he caught up.
I think that may just be us being genre savvy.
No, it's way too obvious, dude. Everyone saw it coming.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
The morning sun is bright through my open window, and the sound of my alarm quickly has me up and about. By the way, something I just realized. There are supposed to be 3 sex scenes in this. We've only seen 2.
Yeah, there's probably one more.
Yeah, but he'll be happy, right?
She absolutely planned for that to be the case. She just didn't plan on regretting it after a lunch talk. I don't think she could have necessarily caused those events. I think maybe it was just
But also,
she latched onto them, maybe made them sound more important than they were.
Far as we saw, for like a week straight, she didn't show up for morning runs.
No, she was. She was showing up for morning runs. They did say that.
It was just that first day she missed it, but after that she would only talk about the runs.
Yeah, she was just she was not letting us talk about the thing, and then we weren't talking about it at lunch because Rin was there. The morning sun is bright through my open window, and the sound of my alarm quickly has me up and about. I slept surprisingly well last night, secure in the knowledge that at least I've got another chance with Emmy. If I could just keep myself from doing anything stupid, maybe I'll find out what's been eating her recently. It's Rin. I have a few educated guesses, but nothing concrete. And certainly nothing.
Wakes up in the morning, 1 foot missing. Rin has it on her bed, chewing on it like a dog. Rin!
Oh, well, that was more intelligible than what you normally say.
Can I have my leg back? What do you mean, no?
It's certainly nothing that I'm going to say to her. I much prefer to have her tell me herself. It's possible at this point he has, it took him long enough, but it's possible at this point he is yeah, her dad's probably dead. But
I mean, last scene he said that. He was like, okay, I don't know for sure. Best not to jump to conclusions.
Yeah, and that's basically what she's doing, or what he's doing at this point. Although I can't help remembering the nurse's warning that I might not like what she has to say. Do I really need to know that badly? What if it's something awful that makes me repulsed by her? Can I really say that I'm prepared to handle whatever she has to say, regardless of what it is?
She was driving that day.
Emmy said she wanted
She was the one who caused the collision.
I was driving that day, and then I saw a dog, and I turned towards it. Emmy said she wanted to tell me without screwing it up. What the hell did she mean by that? What's there to screw up? I think I know what this is gonna be. I think this is gonna be her, like, taking us to see her father's grave.
I also think it's her trying to make, kind of like how you took a little bit, gathered your thoughts about what you wanted to say. She is now taking a little bit, gathering her thoughts and be like, okay, I need to ease into this. I need to not bite his head off.
I know, but the fact that she also, like, specifically invited us to her house for it, I think that it is going to be that, especially because, like, last time there was, everything started up because her mother was like, "Are you going to visit your father?" So
it's like she just needs to not be ambushed by it.
Yeah. I suppose there's not much use worrying about it, though. I'll find out today. It occurs to me that I really, really need a run this morning, to clear my head if nothing else. Emmy is waiting for me as promised, looking a little haggard, but otherwise bright and cheerful. Much more so than any previous day this week.
Hey, Sal, you're late.
I wave my hand dismissively. Nonsense! You're just early. Emmy grins back, and it feels like we're finally back to where we should be with one another. Except now Emmy, not just me, wants to take another step forward. Although a part of me worries that she'll back out at the last second.
Hurry up and stretch, Sal. I don't want to miss the bus.
The bus?
I said I wanted you to come back to my house, remember? And I promised Mom we'd be there in time for lunch, so we had to hurry.
Early start, huh?
It's more for my mom's benefit than anything else.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I unsuccessfully try to guess what Emmy has planned shortly before realizing that it doesn't matter that much to me. Sorry, the bouncing.
I also love her tongue sticking out.
Yeah. I quickly go through my warm-up routine while Emmy bounces impatiently from one foot to the other. She really does seem to want to get moving as soon as possible. The run is over so quickly I can barely believe that I haven't fallen over dead afterwards. Emmy set a blistering pace and I, in my foolishness, kept up with her.
And then I died.
Well, until the last
Emmy,
few laps.
fuck!
I had to slow down just in case. But I don't mind, and Emmy's waiting patiently for me when I finish. As patiently as she can wait, anyway.
Finished? Good, come on.
Grabbing my arm, she practically rushes me down to the nurse's office. Nurse Tim.
Hallway, Dr. Tim.
You seem in a hurry, Emmy. Trying to catch the early bus.
Yeah, I told Mom I'd be back for lunch.
Well, I'll take care of you first, then.
But Sal's gonna come with me too.
Also, I need to read this from chat. Also, despite the slight growth in emotional intelligence, Hisao remains as dumb as a brick. Yeah.
Yeah.
The nurse raises a single eyebrow at this statement and peers at the two of us searchingly.
Really? Today, huh?
Emmy's response is a nod, followed by a surprisingly shy grin.
Well then, we'll make this quick.
Emmy enters the nurse's office, and I patiently wait outside for her to be finished, wondering just why the nurse seemed to be surprised by Emmy's declaration. This is probably the anniversary.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing out on some joke or the significance of today, beyond the fact that it is clearly significant in some way, of course. True to his word, the nurse has Emmy out of his office surprisingly quickly, and I take her place after promising to meet up at the front gate. The nurse takes my pulse and listens for a bit.
Your heart beats faster than usual. Been pushing yourself again, have you?
Well, Emmy seemed in a rush to get through the run, so...
I'm not surprised. Today is rather important to her, you know.
I suspected that could be the case, but I have no idea why that's the case.
Do I need to check your head next? She hasn't told you. Interesting.
So you're not going to tell me either, then. He's so dumb in the chat!
No, I'm not. I suspect that Emmy has her own plan for explaining today to you, and I don't want to mess with that. You'll find out soon enough, so what's the rush? Now, as far as your heart, I would take it easy the rest of the day. No spontaneous races or anything like that, got it?
No sex! Got it. She won't have her running legs on anyway, right?
No, but if you think something like that is going to stop her,
Good point.
I don't think it'll be much of an issue today of all days, but still.
You can't harp on it that much and then not tell us. He's trying to reassure me he's doing a terrible job. I'm quickly becoming more and more worried about what today could be for her. Like suddenly finding out Emmy's in a cult or something.
At
At the same time, if today is such a big deal and Emmy wants me to be with her for it, then maybe she really does want to grow closer to me. Maybe this will be the answer to all the riddles, to the sleepless nights, to the sudden mood swings.
I hate him so much.
There was a joke there. There was a joke there.
Either way, I barely remember to thank the nurse for taking off as quickly as I dare from my room, get a shower, and throw on some decent-looking clothes. If today is as important as it seems to be, I should dress appropriately. Kenji, I love you. Not right now, buddy. Thank God. Okay. Emmy.
Don't worry, we teleported out.
It's a transmission. Rin can't do that because you have to put your fingers to your head.
Haha.
Emmy, of course. Just imagine her trying to do that with her foot, and instead of transporting, she just starts rolling along like Samus. Emmy, of course,
rolling around at the speed of... Ow.
Got places to go, but do I? What are places, really? Emmy, of course, proves me wrong as soon as I reach the front gate wearing her usual shirt and shorts. Though at least I know it's not a terribly formal affair, whatever it is.
Shows up in a fucking suit.
No, my tuxedo!
You're early, Hisao.
Not as early as you. Eager, are we? Emmy cheekily pokes out her tongue. The bus stop isn't very crowded at this hour, which seems to please Emmy, and we end up relaxing a little as we wait. We sit in silence for a while, but I can tell that Emmy's trying to work herself up to say something. I don't have anything to say myself, so I sit waiting for her to talk. It doesn't take too long.
So, I'm sure you're curious as to why the nurse thought it would be so weird for me to bring you along today.
It was a bit, yes, but if you're not ready to tell me... Emmy stops my sentence by placing a finger on my lips. No talk now.
Don't tempt me, Hisao. I want to tell you this, but I'm just uncertain as to how to go about it. I don't want to keep delaying or deferring, I just want to be able to say it.
So say it.
You know it's not going to be that easy for me, Hisao.
So treat it like running. Warm up to it with something small and easy and go from there. Don't do it too fast, okay? I'm a patient man. I can wait for you to get to it. Emmy seems to consider my words, weighing them against what is probably a desire to get it over with. I will admit, as much as I keep telling Emmy to take her time, I wouldn't mind her getting it over with either. But somehow, I know that Emmy probably needs more time than the bus ride will provide to get it all out, whatever it is.
Yeah, maybe you're right. The bus stop probably isn't the best place for this anyway. Just make sure that I don't go back on my word. I'll at least say this.
She takes a deep breath, lets it out, and after a moment says in a low voice,
We're going to see my dad today.
Fucking knew it. The words hang in the air, and I can see that Emmy's afraid that I'll panic and disappear in response, which a part of me almost wants to do. But it would be stupid of me to back out, or to suddenly abandon the promise I made to be there for Emmy when she needs me. The nurse thought it was so weird of her to bring me along. She doesn't bring anyone along, or at least I'm willing to bet that she hasn't before today. Today seems to take on an even greater significance. What has it taken Emmy to even get this far? Ah. Why is that the best I can manage as a response?
Yeah.
I don't know what I should say.
Nothing, I think. Just promise that you're going to come with me.
Of course, you know I... Emmy smiles wanly, looking a little relieved.
I think that's Wayne late, but...
I thought it said
Good. In that case, we better get going.
The bus pulls up just a little after she finishes that sentence. Good timing.
Akio bus.
Vague memories of my first trip out here come to mind as I step off the bus, but unfortunately they're too vague to be of any use.
Emmy is bewildered by how Hisao has deduced it like everyone else in her life.
Maybe she needed to love an idiot for proper closure. I will be the first to admit that I don't quite recall how to get to Emmy's house, so I let her lead the way. She seems content to walk in silence, and I myself have no idea what I could possibly say, so the two of us arrive at her house having said nothing since getting off the bus. Emmy's mother opens the door and doesn't seem surprised to see me standing next to her daughter. I expect that Emmy would have phoned ahead to let her mother know of the change in plans. Emmy, Hisao, you're just in time. Lunch is just about ready.
Great, I was afraid we might be running late.
As fast as you were going this morning, I doubt there was much of a chance of that. I certainly hope she wasn't too much of a bother, Hisao. She tends to get a little paranoid about being on time when food's involved. I hadn't noticed. This earns me a swat on the arm from Emmy, who despite the serious nature of our conversation on the bus and the almost brooding quiet walk, has quickly become cheerful again. Probably to keep her mother from worrying about whatever it is Emmy plans to tell me later. Mrs. Ibarazaki ushers us in, and in short order we're around the table devouring lunch. I hadn't realized I hadn't realized how hungry I was until I got here, but for once I seemed to be eating almost as much as Emmy. Goodness, it's a good thing I made so much. The two of you are acting like you haven't eaten in days. I skip.
Oh.
Had to catch the bus, I assume.
Then I figured you made too much food, so it wouldn't matter if I skipped breakfast.
Well, it's good to know that I'm predictable. Emmy nods enthusiastically, and conversation falls off again as we very nearly clear the table of anything edible. It is a
The plate is not edible.
It is a testament to the sheer amount of food on offer that we don't finish everything. I don't know why, but I just imagine that showing up in the upper left corner the way, like, in Fallout, Fallout 4, something shows up to be like, your companion disliked that. It just shows up, the plate is not edible. I lean back in my chair with a sigh and thank Mrs. Ibarazaki for the food. I'm glad you liked it, Hisao. Now, has Emmy told you where we're going? Yeah, sort of. Is it far from here?
Not really, but we'll drive there to save time. It closes kind of early.
I nod in assent and stand up, ready to go.
Ah, her dad's in prison.
Yes. Why is your dad in prison? He got into the wrong kind of running. Gun running.
Dude, your mother-in-law will remember this.
Mrs. Ibarazaki nods and leaves the room to grab her keys. Emmy, I notice, has started to fidget nervously. Second thoughts? Emmy smiles tightly at me and shrugs. She's fallen silent again, which probably means that I'm right. She's starting to regret bringing me along. Not that I blame her. She's done such a good job of shutting me out that I doubt it's easy to suddenly open up. Honestly, I'm worried that she's forcing it. But she said while waiting for the bus that I'm not supposed to give her a chance to back out. Since I promised to go with her anyway, I suppose there's not much of a choice. I can't go back on my promise, and she can't go back on hers. I just hope that both of us are up to it. We're off! We're off to see the father, the wonderful father who's dead. Emmy's mother... Hearing Rhino nearly laugh makes me laugh.
This is why we're all single.
Eventually we'll find someone just as messed up as us. Emmy's mother blows through the dining room. Sorry. I didn't think of
This
anything.
is why we're all single.
No. Not sexually. I just imagine her mother, like, spinning through the room like the Tasmanian devil.
I was imagining her just being going, and then the two of us go, "Wah," and fly out the room.
I just imagine her, like, Tasmanian deviling her way through the room as she goes, we're off! Emmy's mother blows through the dining.
Okay, dude.
That time it was sexual. Collects the two of us and heads out the door at a brisk pace. Now I know where her daughter gets it from. The car pulls up at the cemetery gates, and I feel Emmy tense up beside me. I reach over and give her hand a comforting squeeze, which causes her to relax a little.
Have the fucker figured it out yet?
Emmy's mother doesn't follow us, explaining that she prefers to visit the grave alone. Emmy steps through the gates and looks back, as if to make sure I'm still there. We step into the cemetery. I don't feel comfortable in cemeteries. Gravestones litter the ground, each one serving as a reminder that someone used to be alive and is no longer. How many died young? How many were as old as I am now? When do I wind up with a marker of my own? How much longer do I have left? The concept of not waking up, not seeing Emmy anymore, is not a happy one. It frightens me, and I very nearly turn around and exit right then and there. I don't want to go among dead people. I don't want to see their stones and think about who they were or what they could have been if they'd only had more time. Then I look at the girl next to me, and my resolve returns. Emmy's striding purposefully down the path, eyes clear, setting a pace that's very nearly a jog. The sooner we get there, I suspect she thinks, the better.
We're here.
A gravestone, wholly unremarkable in everything, except for the name etched upon it. The grass has grown up around the base. Emmy's eyes are riveted to the stone. After a few moments, she turns around, looking surprisingly calm, yet solemn.
Pink's not actually my favorite color, you know.
What?
I'm warming up to it.
Ah!
People tend to think pink's my favorite color. I think it's because I like strawberries, and even though those are red, they just assume that pink's the right color for strawberries, because everybody uses red for cherries. And that it's my favorite color, but it's not. I'm too polite to tell anyone otherwise, of course. It's not the kind of thing worth getting worried over, but I'll bet even you thought pink was my favorite color. Blue. Okay, my guess was wrong.
You don't even wear blue.
Blue. That's my favorite color. My mom and dad are the only two who know that, and now you do too.
Thanks for telling me, I think.
You're welcome.
There's a pause as she considers what to say next, drawing a quick breath.
I can't carry a tune to save my life. I can hum, but actually singing a song is something I've never been able to do. I don't mind, because I'm not a fan of karaoke anyway.
I was about to say the exact same thing that is currently on screen. Well, that's one potential date idea out the window.
People all think that I'm a really popular and friendly person, but I only have a few close friends. Probably because I keep everyone in the dark, but I think it's also because I hate the idea of losing a close friend. There aren't many people worth the risk. I'm terrible at saying goodbye. I sometimes think that I only run because it's what I used to do with my father. You're not my first boyfriend. I dated a guy for a long while during my second year at Yamako, but in the end we broke up because I didn't want to get closer to him. He couldn't live with that distance between us. Oof, that was almost us.
Her rate of speaking increases slightly, as if she's rushing towards a finish line.
I'm actually 1 year older than you. Everybody thinks I'm younger because I'm short, but I had to skip school 1 year because of my accident. They initially thought I was paralyzed when they pulled me out of the wreckage. I lost my legs already, but they were afraid that I wouldn't be able to use what was left of them. After surgery, it was clear that their initial assessment was mistaken. I couldn't feel my legs because of the shock, short-term paralysis due to other trauma I'd experienced. Fair. My recovery was one of the fastest they'd ever seen, or so they told me. I never found out they were serious about that, or if they just told that to all the patients learning to walk again. Fair question.
She pauses, gathering herself for one last effort.
8 years ago today, I lost my legs. And I lost my father as well. He died on the way to the hospital. I didn't even get to go to the gravesite until 2 months later, and couldn't attend his funeral.
I'm so sorry.
don't be. That's what everyone always says, that they're sorry. I hate hearing that. Like anyone could have done anything to change what had happened. You know the best piece of advice I got? These things happen. I don't even remember who said it, but I guess they didn't have anything better to say. But
Sounds
it's
like a
true,
Rin
you know?
thing.
These things happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. They aren't necessarily planned, and they aren't always bad, and they aren't always good, but they are. So I made the decision that I would live without worrying about the future, and to be sure that I never got to say goodbye again, I decided I wouldn't let people get close to me anymore. After all, they could be taken away at any time, and you know what?
She laughs a little bitterly. Her eyes start to well up with tears, and I step forward to embrace her, but she holds up a hand to stop me.
I'm not finished.
A deep breath, and she continues.
It worked pretty well, until I met you and saw that you were trying to adjust stuff here, so I thought I'd help, and then you were so nice, and I couldn't help it, I just...
The tears are flowing now, and she accepts the embrace this time. The
You
rest
and
of
your
her
fucking checker vest.
the rest of her sentence is mumbled into my chest.
I tried not to fall for you, but I did. And then I tried to keep you at a distance, like with my first boyfriend, but I couldn't. I've been so scared because I don't want to lose you, and I might anyway.
Hey, I'm still around, right? And maybe I won't be forever. Don't you think it'll be fun while it lasts? Neither of us could survive the day. There could be a bus crash or something, but so long as I know that I've been with you, I don't think it matters. A sudden thought strikes me, and I can't help laughing. My condition had me scared of dying so badly that I immediately seized on the opportunity Emmy presented to improve my odds of living longer. But without Emmy, would there have been any motivation to keep up with my running? It hits me that Emmy is the reason I want to go running every day, so I can spend as much time with her as possible. Emmy looks up at me confused. We'll go on living until we stop. And when we stop living, we'll be able to know that at least we've had time together. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Because I love you, Emmy. And right now, that's enough for me. Emmy smiles through her tears and steps back from me.
You know, it's funny.
What is?
I thought that the best way to live in the moment was to do it alone. But now I don't think I'd have it any other way either. I'm glad I met you, Hisao.
Well, these things happen. Emmy and I stay by the grave for a while as Emmy pays her respects to her father. When she's ready to go, we exit the graveyard side by side. Emmy's mother drives us back to Yamaku. The trip back is very quiet. We wave goodbye as the car drives off, and I glance down at the girl leaning on my arm. How are you feeling? Emmy shrugs noncommittally.
I'll be fine. Come on, let's go.
We pause outside the girls' dorm, and I turn to face Emmy, ready to say goodbye.
Why don't you come up for a while?
Okay. The walk up to her room is in silence. I'm not sure why I suppose I'd be turned away at the door. I guess I just assumed she'd want to be alone. Her mom, the nurse, hell, everyone who knew the significance of today seemed to think it best to leave Emmy alone. But she took me into the graveyard with her. She told me the story of what happened on the day she lost her legs. She wanted me around. The significance of this does not escape me. Emmy opens the door and steps into her room, not even bothering to invite me in, holding the door for me expectantly. I step in and the door swings shut behind me.
Hey, can I ask you a favor?
Alright, we'll bang. Sure. Can't guarantee I'll do it, but... Emmy giggles and pulls me into a kiss that starts out soft, but deepens into something almost desperate.
Sorry, dog stuff. Yes, he has terrible timing. Stay with me, please.
Her voice has dropped to a whisper. The question is barely audible over the sound of my own breathing. There's something about the way that she asks that question The hesitancy in it. Quiet voice. It makes me think she doesn't mean tonight. No, she means exactly what she said. Stay with me. Not tonight or forever, because both of us know there's no such thing as forever. There's no time limit to her request. There's just the request. The favor. Can I do that? Can I stay with her? Of course. We embrace again, Emmy guiding me towards her bed, stepping backwards with care until she sits down on the edge. Shrimp!
There it goes. I knew it was coming, and so are we.
Just in case, I'm gonna throw the sensor up on screen. All right, not happening. Nothing happened immediately.
Maybe keep it up for just a moment.
Okay, but not immediately. But for now, I'm gonna go look at like if we missed anything.
I imagine it's just, and then they banged.
Yeah, but I remember last time it was only because I looked it up that we got to see that hilarious face. Okay, there is some dialogue here that I'm gonna read here. This happens like right around where they're about to start, and Emmy says, "Wait a second, are you still in your socks?" I pause and look down. Apparently I am. Yeah. Does that matter? Take them off. It's weird if you still have them on. You know, you've still got your socks on too. Yes, but I don't have my legs on, so it doesn't count. Unable to deny her logic and impatient to have the conversation over anyway, etc., etc.
Fair.
Alright. I'm gonna keep the sensor up until we see Emmy and confirm whether or not she's dressed.
Yeah, that's probably the best choice.
I collapse next to Emmy, who almost immediately curls against me, smiling. Mentally, I feel grateful that Emmy keeps her nails short. Otherwise, I think she might have drawn blood. This chapter is called Hooray for Socks? I sit up briefly to dispose of the now-used condom. Hey, okay, at least he's doing that. And lay back down next to Emmy, who's in turn taking care of cleaning herself off. For a while, we lay in silence, savoring the feeling of being next to one another. Emmy is the first to speak. Good thing
yep, good thing you kept it up.
I have it up. We are fine. So,
I figured that was gonna happen.
Yeah, but we're good. I believe you can press pause to see the chapter title. Oh yeah! Current scene, hooray for socks!
Huh.
Hey, Hisao? Thanks for coming with me today.
When?
She knows what she's doing.
I smile and plant a kiss on her head. Of course, my pleasure. Emmy snuggles closer, and I can feel her breathing begin to slacken as she begins to drift off to sleep. Just as she's about to fall asleep, she wakes up enough to mutter a single sentence. Round 2. Oh, okay.
Love you, Hisao.
Then she's out like a light, leaving me feeling like I'm on top of the world. I draw the slumbering Emmy as close as possible, pull the covers over us to keep the chill off, and fall asleep as happy as I've ever been.
Oh, are we done? Did we win?
Do-do-do, do-do-do. We had sex, put our
So what happened? So what happened with Yuko and the book thief?
Who fucking knows? Oh, we're still going.
Oh, hang on. Okay, I'm gonna put this back up just in case. The morning light seems to reach further into Emmy's room than it does into mine. This results in my waking up earlier than I would have if I had gone back to my room last night, as had previously been our routine. I did not realize it until this morning. This is the first time we've actually spent the night together. A small movement from my partner's still slumbering form causes me to look to the side. Hair splayed across her face, Emmy continues to sleep peacefully, curled up next to me. It's slightly weird seeing her without her trademark twin tails, but it's also a look I could get used to.
We say, knowing that she has not a single sprite like that, it's just that one piece of art.
The small size of the beds here necessitates her curling up, but I'm pretty sure she would have done so anyway. The covers are nearly over her head, I smile as an errant strand of hair causes her nose to twitch slightly. Unable to help myself, I draw her a little closer, a move which she seems to think is a good idea. Her steady breath raises a trail of goosebumps on my chest, but I don't mind. I am no longer tired, but I do not feel a need to move from my current position. Emmy's warm body in repose against mine is far too comfortable to move. I gaze up at the ceiling and consider how it is that we got to this point. We've been close for a while, but not this close. It seems like only yesterday that she ran into me in the hallway, and after apologizing, decided to take an interest in my well-being. But that grew into something else, which I, at least, was not expecting. One thing is for certain. Having found Emmy, I will try as hard as I can not to lose her. My morning musing is interrupted by further movement from Emmy. Her eyes flutter open, and she seems briefly confused by my presence in her bed, as well as her current state of dress, which is non-existent. Nope, this is fine.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Also, yay, more hair down.
Then she smiles happily and sits up, looking down at me. Her face looking down at me, rather. Oh hey, it's 8:10. And... hey look, lotion.
Ah, it's a full moon out.
Man, they made the bunny rabbit watch.
That's why he's got that face that says, I've seen things. Good morning, Isao.
Hi, sleep well?
Yeah, I did. Exhausting day yesterday, you know?
I think back over yesterday's trip to the graveyard. Yeah, that's what she was talking. Yeah, glad to hear you slept well.
How'd you sleep?
Well enough, although you kept hogging the covers. This earns me a shove and a stuck-out tongue. I chuckle, and Emmy giggles a little, and we fall quiet for a while. I soak up the feeling of how right it seems, waking up with Emmy by me, crammed into a bed made for one person. It's something I could get used to.
Hey, Isao.
Hmm?
Thanks for sticking around.
No problem. Save me the walk back anyway, right? This draws another giggle, then Emmy's expression turns serious again.
No, really. I kept trying to push you away because I thought that was the right thing to do, but you stuck around through it all. I haven't made any of this easy for you, but you stuck it out anyway. So I really mean it. Thank you.
She punctuates this by giving me a kiss, pulling back and looking at me with an expression of affection. I reach up and ruffle her hair, smiling all the while. I'm stupidly lucky, I think. To have come through everything after my heart attack and to somehow have found this girl is nothing short of a miracle. You're very welcome, Emmy. I couldn't bear the thought of giving you up. I'll even continue to stick around if you want.
I'd like that.
That settles it, then. I don't know how long my heart will keep working. I don't even really know what I'll do after this year is over, apart from going to university. As long as Emmy's around, I think I'll be okay. I've managed to help her, and she's managed to help me. If we keep doing that, we'll be okay, I think.
So, Isao,
Hmm?
what do you want to do today?
You.
And that's that.
Alright, there were some notes.
Do-do-do.
There were some notes I didn't particularly agree with, but I get it makes sense for the characters, but that's just my personal opinion.
What did you not like?
Don't worry about it. But it was an interesting story overall, I thought. It's interesting because we were expecting it to be like a dramatic reveal at the end because this dude was not getting it, but they kind of just went over it like, yeah, it was a thing, and he wasn't like, what? He was kind of like, oh.
Yeah,
right.
I think they probably knew that we would have picked up on it. That was fun. That was enjoyable. We didn't make a lot of choices, but I still liked the story.
Visual novels. Did you just crumple up the picture?
4 Leaf Studios. Why did they do 2015 in Roman numerals? Oh, we're... Alright. I'm gonna guess... Yeah, no, there's no...
I guess...
Well, I see what the title of the chapter where we got kicked out of the house was. Guess who's coming? Never mind.
I guess we get more photos at the bottom for every act we see with the different girls.
Yeah,
I guess.
probably. What are the extras? Oh, hey, we could look at all the pictures.
There's some we haven't seen because we didn't make those choices.
Yeah. See a lot of Emmy ones. There's the one Hanako, the one Lily, the one Rin, Lily and Shizune.
The duel.
What? Why?
That's medicine. Why is that? What?
Gun.
Oh wait, hang on. Oh wait, hang on. Hang on. I think that's. Yeah. I think
Is that just random?
Yeah, it's just showing us like the smaller things, not the full size CG. It's just like the little like images that showed up, like how this showed up right before the race.
Fucking Lily and Shizune looking like they're about to do a JoJo pose off. Yay!
Yay! I could have pulled up the other one, but... Alright. That is it for, Katawa Shoujo. I think we're still... You guys are still up to, like, not immediately, but, like, at some point, kind of play through this again, skip through anything we've seen, and do the Rin route.
Yeah, sure. I think Rin might be a boot.
Yeah. We'll probably do that. I'll skip.
Meanwhile, the Rin route is entirely deep philosophical discussions.
Well, I'll tell you, from what I've skimmed from the photos of it, there's a lot more sad photos than an Emmy's route.
No! Rin is supposed to be funny.
This is what happens. You look,
dude. Rin's route hurts my soul. Ew.
Oh, but it's so good.
But it's so good.
Lily's route is really upbeat. A lot of Lily's route is her and Shizune becoming friends again.
Lily's route doesn't even have a bad ending. Apparently, just a neutral ending at worst.
Yeah, it's a weird thing of if you do Shizune's route, Lily doesn't show up. But if you do Lily's route, then her and Shizune and Misha become friends again.
I think what I'll probably do is, like, between now and when we eventually do Rin's route, I'll probably play through all the other routes just to, like, see them. But I'll do that on, like, the Steam version. And then I'll leave this so that, like, when we come back to do Rin's route, I can safely just make sure we skip anything we've already seen. Alright, let me find a... Oh, wait! Oh, there's Zoo... Nope, wrong one.
Easy there.
Here it is. Yeah, there's like zoom ins.
Yeah.
Those are her legs.
Tomorrow we have Soul Link, and Saturday we actually don't have D&D on Saturday.
Yeah, but we're not doing stuff on. We're not doing what we were hoping to do on Saturday. We'll see if something else happens. Hey, sorry, I'm trying to decide what image I should look at for a bit so we can so I can have it for the thumbnail. I think I might just have to like do this one and crop it carefully.
Just do like the face.
Yeah. There we go. I have it now. Alright.
Well, Jero's streaming right now, so we could raid him.
Yeah, I believe he's
He's doing Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection.
Oh, I thought he was still doing Splatoon. All right, so that's gonna end off. I would call this the main playthrough of Katawa Shoujo, and then when we do the Rin playthrough, we're just trying to be like, let's see what silly stuff happens with Rin. Yeah. Farewell, and see you next time. I'll find some other dating sims for us to play.